They might ban me for this song, but this is how I'm rocking. Can't be trans cause it ain't real. They need a mental asylum. Say the truth, they look at me like I'm the one with the problem. But they mess with little kids, that's why pedophilia rising. But that's what happens when you give an inch to the gays. Promoting sin instead of telling them they should change the ways. They make you wear a mask, you comply, that remind me of slaves. Got my order wrong at McDonald's thinking you need a raise. I'm about to break the meter, two-way got my heater. Hey, I don't wear Nike, I only rock Adidas. Hey, I'm in the street, yeah, and mostly y'all just tweet us. Hey, and false teachers, so Bryson got a teal. If a man dress like a woman, then it should be a crime. If you impersonate a cop, then they gon' give you some time. Say you a queen, but all you do is twerk and show your behind. And people think you a 10, but you ain't worth a dime. You scared of COVID, but you around like 400 pounds. Take that mask off to eat fried chicken so you look like a clown. If this offensive, I don't care cause I'm just making my rounds. And if you voted Joe, you a coon. I love how that sound. Hey, mask off, I promise they don't help. If I saw my son in a dress, then I'll go and get my belt. Look in the mirror and tell me what you think about yourself. You need a safe space? Sorry, I don't care about what you feel. I'm about to break the meter, two-way got my heater. Hey, I don't wear Nike, I only rock Adidas. Hey, I'm in the street, yeah, and mostly y'all just tweet us. Hey, and false teachers, so Bryson got a teal.
They would ban me if I tweeted everything in his verse, but I would get a Grammy.
Hold up. Don't be, I see the comments. 9 minutes late, typical. And then you got people saying racist stuff in here. CB time, where'd that comment go? It's too far up. I'm sorry. I know we're late, but you know, this is how Black folks operate. We got to make sure everybody's here. The only person late is, I'm not going to say his name, but I think you all know who's late. Thank you, everybody, for being here. This is the infamous conversation we've been having, and I'm going to bring everybody up that's going to be taking place in the conversation. Thank you all for being here. It's going to be fun. Ooh, I like that music, Dalton.
Oh, that was not me.
Who was that?
I don't know.
Carson's here. Awesome. Who did I leave off? Okay. Who is breathing in the mic? Like, oh my gosh. Oh, that was you, James. Well, Mo's the moderator. She's going to go over the house rules, and then we will get right into the conversation. We can't hear you. You're muted. Hold on. You have to unmute yourself. There you go. We still can't hear you. I don't know why. It wouldn't be a YouTube if it didn't have any errors. Bryson, you got questions in the chat. Are you still doing your Bible reading tonight?
No. We finished Genesis last night, so I'm writing up quizzes and tests for the entire chapter, for the entire book of Genesis. Then I'll be back
Nice.
whenever I'm done with that.
Nice. We won't rage quit. That was for Bryson.
Hey man,
Bryson rage quit.
Hey man, listen, Lady Maga, man.
I can't figure out why I'm having problems. Okay, Lady Maga, just until Mo gets back. So I invited Lady Maga, aka Ryan Woods, and he said yes. Right. So I screenshot it, and I'm like, look, everybody can see. He absolutely said yes to coming on. Then he said, wait, where is this going to be live? And I said, oh, it'll be on some big, some big conservatives. I wasn't trying to give him names. And then he said, well, can I have the names of people who are going to be on there? Then he wanted to know what was the audience size. And I'm just like, bro, I'm just going to give you what you want. You tagged him?
Yeah, I made a post and I said, watch us destroy identity politicers like Lady Maga and Blexit, Utah. So we're going to have, they're all going to be in the comments now. It's going to be great.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, Beerson, what up, broski?
What's up, man? Good to see you, man.
Yes, sir. I was trying to stream on Cozy, but for some reason I can't hear out my headphones when I have to go into my HD 60 joint. So I don't know what's going on.
I'm back. You hear me okay?
Mo's back. You're good. You sound good. Perfect.
It was so weird because all I heard was you, and you sounded like a chipmunk, and I was like, "Is this a joke?"
It was. I didn't do it.
Yeah. All right. So I didn't hear any of your intro. I heard Bryson's song, but I didn't hear any of your intro. So are we at the part where
we are at the part where you come in? The floor is yours now.
All right, cool. Well, guys, welcome to this debate, the conversation. I'm actually going to be the moderator today. I'm going to go over some really quick rules for you guys. Nothing too much because we don't want to like stifle the conversation. We want this to be as open and as honest as it can be, but we also want it to be respectful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be posing a question to you all. Anybody who wants to start off first will have 2 to 3 minutes to kind of say what they feel about the topic that I'm asking about. We do have a rule not to mention the word vaccines, or I guess I'm mentioning it right now, election fraud, because that will get us. I don't know how else to tell the rule without telling you guys, but just don't say those words because that will get this live stream banned, or at least the algorithm won't like it and we won't get seen. Everybody is going to have time to respond, and we ask that everybody be respectful to one another. So, just don't know like crazy, slurs or insults about people's lifestyles and things like that. We want to make sure that this is a productive conversation. But if you are stating something based in fact, feel free to say it. Okay? Does anybody have any questions?
Nope. I'm ready.
Okay. All right.
Well,
so we're gonna start off with, I think, a pretty hot topic, which is CRT. Okay. Critical race theory is an academic concept that is more than 40 years old, and the core idea is that race is a social construct, and that racism is not merely the product of individuals' bias or prejudice, but also something embedded in legal systems and policies. Who wants to start off first with their thoughts on CRT? Does anybody think it's a good idea?
No, at least I don't. I don't know about anybody else here. I can't hear Justin. He would probably be in favor of it, but his sound isn't working. So I'm going to swap him for LibKid. He might be the only one here to agree with CRT.
Hey, if I'm the only one defending it, I'll take it.
Okay.
Well, if you want me to just go ahead and state my opinion on it?
Sure.
But yeah, so critical race theory, well, to me and everything that I've studied about it, because we did, in my sociology course, we are doing a section on CRT or something very similar to it. To me, I think it is largely misrepresented. Critical race theory is kind of just the sociological, analyzing race for a sociological aspect, which yes, and some people in critical race theory would say that race is a social construct. That's an arguable opinion within the critical race theory subject. So there's also, there's a lot of people who argue within the critical race theory subject about different types of things and why racism exists. And it's not just kind of what I've seen represented, which is kind of just white people bad. Now, of course, you can find people within the critical race theory who will say that, and I will never defend them, ever. But critical race theory to me is just looking at race and looking at racism, why it happens and how it happens for a sociological perspective. And to me, I see no issue with that. But of course, sometimes everything can go too far. And of course, I will never defend people who say some stupid shit.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, I'll go. I think that critical race theory is it is the definition. It is one of the fundamental issues in the United States in regards to attacking white people systematically in the school system. It is fundamentally racist against whites, and it pushes a victimhood mentality on Black Americans when really there should be none, because they are awarded certain things in this country for simply being the color of their skin, while whites are punished, in every aspect of life almost for being white. So, yeah, I think CRT is absolutely disgusting.
Well, this guy is actually on my Facebook, and he might disagree, but welcome. I wanted to say welcome. Sorry, whoever else is going, go ahead.
Yeah, and I just want to go off the definition that dude said. Like he said, it's just like a lens of analyzing stuff. I just think that is stupid. That's a stupid idea to have a curriculum that's based on that idea, that you just take old stuff that people did and just critique it, like this critical theory. That's so pointless, and it just shows how stupid our education system is. Where all the things we do are just critiquing what people in the past did. We don't create anything new, and that CRT is just a product of that. It's so stupid.
Where did the British guy go?
I'm gonna swap him and Corinne out.
Okay.
Hey guys, before the next person responds, and I really apologize because it was mentioned in the comments, but can we do a quick roundabout and everybody kind of introduce yourself, if they can follow you anywhere, what your expertise is, if you have some type of expertise? Why don't we start with Dalton?
Yeah, I'm a streamer on cozy.tv. I do pretty much everything. I do a political show on Saturday at 6:30 called Off the Grid, and I do Omegle reaction gaming streams throughout the week.
Stole it from me.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Beardson's a liar.
Okay. Beardson?
Yeah, I'm Beardson. I'm kind of just a variety streamer sort of guy. I'm on cozy.tv/Beardson. I'm what you could call, I guess, a groiper, America First guy, and
he's old.
I'm also old, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gibby?
I'm just a guy, and you can follow me on 0 platforms.
Okay. Are we going to see your face, or are we just going to see...
This is my face.
This is your face.
Okay.
Carson.
I'm Carson Wolf. I host a show with Today's America, and then I also do a lot of streaming too. Mostly cover cultural stuff. I'm very anti hookup culture, very anti degeneracy. I'm very against that because I'm in college and I see it a lot. So yeah.
Okay. James.
James Owen. I guess I'm just a traditional conservative. You can follow me on Instagram at Real James Owen. That's really it.
Okay. Bryson.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Y'all already know me. Most banned rapper in America. I just keep it 100, and people be upset. So it just how it be, man. Per usual.
Okay. Who is next here? Why don't I see names anymore? Brian. You're on mute, Brian. There you go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
My name is Brian Talbert. I'm the founder of Deplorable Pride. We're a gay, straight, conservative alliance based in Charlotte, North Carolina. I was actually the first gay person in the United States to be kicked out of a pride parade for supporting President Trump. And since then, our organization has gotten involved with helping local politicians getting elected.
Sounds like you're on an airplane.
Huh?
Okay, it went away. Never mind. Go ahead.
He's in the closet.
For the record, I've never been in the closet. Never been in the closet. So I'm a proud gay Republican who supports President Trump. I make no apologies for who I am, and anybody that stands in my way better get out.
We got a topic for you. We have a topic for you.
I kind of figured it because I saw gays were 3 of the topics on here, so I figured I was going to get the brunt of all this. So
can I ask one question?
No, we're all introducing ourselves at the moment, and then we'll get into the question.
Oh, you want me to ask you a question? Figures. I wouldn't either.
Bryson, just hold on to it just for a second. Is it Kieran? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, that's correct. I am, just a representative of the Black grassroots, entrepreneur, and I represent Black empowerment, specifically for foundational Black Americans, those of us who were descended of slavery here in America.
Okay. Hell yeah, brother. Let's go.
So we'll jump right back into the topic that we were talking, which was CRT. Kieran, since you are our pro-Black guest on the panel today, what are your thoughts on CRT?
To be honest, it's just white supremacist rhetoric. Because to be honest with you, critical race theory is only taught in a few law schools across the country. There is no critical race theory in grade school. At the end of the day, what they don't want taught is the anti-Black racism, racist past of this country.
Does anybody want to respond to that?
I will. I'll let you go next, Bryson. You said it's only taught to college kids and not in grade school. Cali, most your liberal states and cities absolutely have critical race theory in their curriculum. Just wanted to throw that in there. Go ahead, Bryson.
He said that people don't want to teach about the racist history of this country. Hey, bro, I don't know what school you went to growing up. I genuinely don't know. I don't know where you grew up. I don't know what TVs you watched. I don't know what music you listened to. All you get is the rhetoric about the racist history of this country. Every Black movie that comes out is about slavery. How many times, Karen? I got a genuine question. How many times do you want to know what slaves went through? Because every single movie seems to be about that. And at what point do you say, okay, I got it? I'm not a slave, because you've never been a slave in your life. I don't know how old you are. You've never been oppressed. You're not a slave. None of that. But who are being oppressed, being a Christian conservative is the new Black. Because if you're a Christian and conservative, you can't speak freely how you want to speak. I can't call Brian a FAG if I wanted to, because I will get banned from platforms. But everybody else can say whatever they want. You can say whatever you want about white people, and it's perfectly fine.
Well, first of all, as far as the history that's taught in schools, I mean, it's they teach a broad view of slavery, a whitewashed version of Dr. King, and they hardly mention anything that goes in between. Like, I mean, we're still suffering under a system of systematic racism today, and what they don't teach in schools is how all that stuff is interconnected, and how this is a systematic oppression that is upheld, whether it's codified in law, which you'll see less of these days. More so, it's codified in ideology. It's a religion. So whether it be the banking system, education, politics, it may no longer be codified in law, but in terms of how people do business in everyday life, they still uphold that system.
Woo! Preach.
Can I ask you a question? I want to ask you a question, and then I want to make a comment after this question. Kieran, do you like Martin Luther King?
Well, let me ask you a question. Why are you invoking the name of Dr. King?
Well, I think it's very fitting. You brought up Martin Luther King, right?
Birthday today.
It's also Martin Luther King Day. So I think it's very fitting. So how do you feel? I mean, are you like, a supporter of Martin Luther King and what he talked about?
Well, what did Martin Luther King talk about?
Well, you said it, everyone whitewashes.
He's asking you questions, bro.
All right, well, whatever.
Whatever.
It's clear you do, but you said that there is a whitewashing of Dr. King in America. And I would agree, actually. I think it is whitewashing, because instead he was just another Black man in America, a rapist. He sexually assaulted women. I mean, this is very common in the Black
watch
community.
your mouth, you mayo monkey. I'm gonna tap in right here. I absolutely support CRT. I think we should be making all them kids watch Black Panther in class 24/7. You see what Wakanda is? Wakanda would be Africa if we had CRT in every school.
All right. Okay. I actually have a question for Kieran. It's actually, I'm gonna respect your point. I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna have you defend it. So, I've actually gone through and I've studied the curriculum of CRT about twice now. just to properly understand it, because it is a theory and it is kind of complex. So I did notice that, like, in CRT, it doesn't talk about the racism and the slavery that is perpetuated by Africans. It only talks about the European white male. Like, for instance, right now, I want you to answer me why is Central. Right now, there's an index done in 2018 where they went to Africa and like they got the numbers of registered slaves, because Africa is like one of the only countries, or one of the only continents in the world that actually registers people as property. Right now in the Central African Republic, there's 101,000 slaves out of 4,546,000 population. Somalia, 216,000. Democratic Republic of Congo, 1,045,000 slaves. Sudan, 465,000. Chad, 168,000. Nigeria, 1,386,000 slaves. So, like, my thing is like, a bunch of black people are coming up and be like, if we were in Africa, you know, like, we would be so much better off. No, the Europeans found us playing with sticks. We'd still be playing with sticks today if it wasn't for Western influence. So, like, I want to know, like, why is it so negative that we were brought over to the United States? Because if we wouldn't, statistically, if you look at the global slavery index, you or I would be a slave. We would be picking cotton for our black masses. So, like, please tell me. I just kind of want to know, like, why doesn't CRT bring up how Africa is still peddling in the slave trade today? They had more slaves than any other country during the North Atlantic slave trade. But for some reason, the white European male is the most evil person on the planet. So, yeah, I just want to have your answer to that.
You know,
can you answer that? Why? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Again, you know, as I say on Facebook all the time, you know, that's typical white supremacist rhetoric. I mean,
it's actually.
First of all, okay,
This index was
hold on.
This index was done
hold
by
on now. Now wait a minute. You had a chance to speak.
Yeah.
My turn to speak.
Let's speak fat.
So, first of all, I mean, there's so much crazy shit going on in Africa. But there's a difference between, you know, chattel slavery and slavery that we've seen throughout the history of the world. You know, a lot of times those slaves weren't even technically slaves; they were indentured servants. You know, you were not owned for your life. Your children were not owned by the slave master. So in a lot of cases, it was indentured servitude. Just talking about slavery, the history of slavery in general. In terms of what our ancestors experienced here in America versus the type of slavery that's going on in Africa, the difference is the brutality in which we've suffered here and in the Caribbean and in South America is. You know, we were dehumanized. We were less than human. Beaten, raped, medical experiments done on. So anything you can imagine, they did during the slave trade. So as far as the system of white supremacy and its legacy in this country, you know, that's just a distraction. You know, what's happening in Africa.
Okay. All right. So,
yo, dude, can I say something?
You're saying that Africans, like over in Africa.
One person at a time.
Okay,
one
go ahead.
person at a time. Go ahead,
I'll be really
James.
quick, Carson, because
Go
you
ahead.
had your finger up before I had my finger up.
Okay, I just want to. Dude,
Go ahead.
okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, you got it.
All right. So are you saying, Kieran, that in Africa, their version of slavery is like the slaves get Kentucky Fried Chicken and then they go to the fields and they don't get whipped? They get they get little tiny pats on the head. Don't do that, Wakanda. Like, you know, like what is the type of slavery that goes on in Africa? Like, do they not whip them? Do they not kill them like indiscriminately because they don't like the way they looked at them? Like, are they not withholding food because they're not doing stuff? Are they not raping girls that are in the slave trade? Why is it that in South Africa in 2019 they reported 4.25 million rapes because there's an active rape culture in South Africa? Well, that's not happening in America. We don't have an encouraged rape culture where if you report the rapes to the rape to the authorities, it's not going to be taken seriously because women don't have like any type of rights over in different countries in Africa. So like you're saying that there's all this degeneracy happening in America to slaves or to black people, sorry. But what about the slavery that's still being perpetuated, the generational slavery that's happening in Africa? There are kids, women, men that their entire generations have been enslaved. All right, and where's Black Lives Matter advocating for these people? Why are we waving Nigerian flags on behalf of like a thug like George Floyd when those Nigeria encourages slavery? So like, no, slavery is wrong anyway. They whip their slaves, they withhold food, they feed them, and they give them the basic minimum to survive. And if they die, they just replace them. Like there's still an active slave trade in Nigeria. Nobody talks about it. 1,386,000 slaves. I dropped the link to my source in the private chat if you want to check that out. But yeah, CRT doesn't talk about that. It just vilifies the white European male. And honestly, modern day, I don't really think that slavery or understanding something that, the Americas, the colonies only partook in a small amount of the slave trade compared to other countries. Britain only, if you look at the global slavery index, Britain only throughout the North Atlantic trade deal or trade agreement, they only reportedly only had 20,000 slaves during that time. America had over that, they have over 180,000, but we're not looking at Africa. Africa during that time had over 3.82 million slaves during the North Atlantic slave trade. Nobody talks about that. You just want to vilify the white European male so they can perpetrate you as victims.
James, really quick. Carson, I'm going to let you respond. And then let's let Kieran respond to everybody. And then I know Soonie wanted to say something also. All right, go ahead, Carson.
So what I want to talk about is Kieran, you were bringing up this idea of like a systemically racist society that's against black people and stuff like that. And the only systems of systemic racism that exist in this country, like legal discrimination, are against people who look like me, Kai, Dalton, and Beardson. These are the kinds of people you get rewarded. Diversity quotas in the workplace, diversity quotas in education. You reward people for taking people who aren't white, who aren't Christian, who don't believe in God. It rewards taking black people. So I'm confused about what this systemic discrimination against black people is.
Okay, Kieran, you go ahead and respond, and then we have 5 more minutes left on this topic. We're going to let Soonie wrap it up with her statement. Go ahead.
First of all, our only concern is what's happening to our people here. Because one thing about Black society is there is an ongoing sort of infighting that's going on, because those of us who came out of the slavery experience here in this country are kind of going against Black immigrants right now, because we're starting to self-identify and separate from them, and so that's a whole different issue. We're not really concerned about what's happening in Africa. The belly of the beast is right here in America. So
can you give us an example, Kieran, of what you're saying? What's happening to Blacks here?
So again, to answer the follow-up question is, why are we, at the end of the day, we have no power. We're still at the bottom of the totem pole. We don't own and control anything. So all of these so-called benefits you're talking about, why do they have to set those up in the first place?
I got a question for Kieran. Just literally one. When you say the things that happen to Black people in America, let's just go to another dark-skinned group, the Nigerians, as an example. They don't have as high of a crime rate. They have a higher median household income. They very family-oriented. They have a lower divorce rate. So my question to you is a very simple. Why the American Black community is everything?
First of all, see, all of that that's nonsense, man. Like, okay.
He was speaking.
First of all, you're talking about a smaller group of people. Most of them come over here already married. You know what I'm saying? So the younger people that come over here, most of them live in our neighborhoods. A lot of them are cab drivers and stuff like that.
Hey, so racist.
And the things that they've done, they haven't done anything that we haven't already accomplished.
Question:
So it's
why do they not have the same like murder rates as say American black people? Why is that so different? Because you just said they live in our neighborhoods, right? So based on your logic, if they live in neighborhoods, why are they participating in the same crimes?
Some of them do. As a matter of fact,
hey, before you even continue that, so that some of them do. Obviously, I'm not talking about the some. Obviously, I'm speaking generally, which statistics show. Example: 13% of the population, which is us, account for 51% of murders. So my question is, why don't
that's a lie? Okay. That's also a lie.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
That's a lie.
Listen.
No,
why?
Not.
Okay.
That's
Whatever percentage you want, bro, is super high. My question is, why isn't Nigerians living in the same neighborhoods doing the same thing? Generally speaking, don't say
it's
some.
53%.
hey, Kieran, don't give me some. Why, generally speaking, are Nigerians not doing the same thing if they live in our neighborhoods?
Well, first of all, again, that idea and that notion is just untrue. That's not true. So if you are a black immigrant, if you're a black immigrant and you are forced to live in an impoverished community here in the States, chances are you're getting into the same trouble that foundational black Americans are getting into.
No, that's not true.
Is Chicago a dream?
Bro, hold on, wait, James. The statistics for Nigerians literally exist. Literally, it exists. So it's not like you have to make up some statistics or something. You can literally look up.
That's another thing. There, that goes back to the whole model immigrant citizen trope. What they were doing.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
They did the same thing with the Asians, and so now they create these.
What do they do with the Asians?
Doing it with black immigrants.
Asians are discriminated against the workforce. Yeah.
So is the statistics for Nigerians fake? Is that what you're saying? The stats are fake. Is what you're saying. The data is not true.
It's fake.
Well, what it's called is statisticulation. Like
okay.
what
does that mean?
Like you guys talk about this. You guys talk about
Jewish. Are you talking about Jewish?
You talk about this 51% of the murder. That's completely untrue.
No, it's not. It's actually not.
That's untrue. And then we also document crimes that black immigrants are doing. Since they started to do
black immigrants,
look at these model black immigrants over here.
We're not talking.
Why aren't they committing crimes and you guys are committing crimes? Well, so
because the culture in America is a lot different than their culture. That's why.
Okay, so ever since they started with that propaganda, we've been documenting crimes committed by immigrants, black immigrants. So it's just a lie. They're not. The reality is they're not doing better than us.
Okay,
that sounds like a code.
So Nigerians. Oh, you know what? I have no more questions. Never mind. I have nothing else.
Kai,
I guess if you're a foundational black American, you just ignore all facts and statistics.
By the way, those who are doing better, there's at the end of the day, they're still propped up by our achievements because they couldn't come here if it wasn't for us. If we didn't fight for their ability to immigrate, be here.
What?
Hi, get it. Okay. So, I'm a little bit confused, right? Because I think we all agree on the historical reality, which is that black people originally arrived in the United States as slaves. Now, I don't believe that was a good thing. I think slavery is a bad thing. And James is very obviously
most of us were already here. How
did you get here?
We were already here.
Are you saying black people don't?
We were already.
Wait. Are you saying
black people invented America?
We were already traveling to the Americas before Christopher Columbus arrived.
Have you ever seen a black man?
Well, hold on. Yeah. Well, let me just say, if you're not going to interact with, the statistical realities about, the crime rates being disproportionately, produced by black people, I will say just anecdotally with James and with Bryson,
but I'm not going to interact with it because it's a lie.
It's
a lie.
We have a really obvious. Well, I'm telling you.
It's a lie, sir.
Well, just give me a second. I'm telling you, you don't need to rely on the stats because between Bryson and James and the way they're handling you, we've got a perfect example of black on black violence. But besides just the reality of it, there's a lot of things that you're saying that, simply aren't true. And if everything you're saying is, well, the evidence, isn't real, then there's no way of actually engaging with it. If you think that you're very Hotep minded and you believe that the reality is that black people were the real pioneers and that they were actually, coming to the Americas before Columbus, we can disagree about that, but you have no statistics to back it up. I did,
first of all,
Columbus
mentioned,
first of all, in your opening statement, which I thought was really,
sir,
it was an extraordinary claim.
First of all,
which was that the African Americans that are still in the United States today are suffering from the results of slavery. And I actually do have some evidence that completely contradicts it. And this came out I think in the 80s is when they were researching this. And what they found, this is from an article, or rather from research paper called Slavery and the Intergenerational Transmission of Human Capital. We can break down any of those words if they're too difficult. We'll skip to the conclusion. It says this paper has demonstrated that on certain basic outcome measures, namely literacy, schooling, and occupation, the most important ones, the most important measures as to how people are doing, the descendants of slaves caught up with the descendants of free blacks within 2 generations, meaning that this entire, red herring of, slavery is the reason black people are doing poor in America today is really just obfuscating the reality, which is that if you commit crimes, you will end up poor. If you commit crimes, you will create poor neighborhoods and you will have no wealth to pass on to your family.
You're lying,
the chicken and the egg are really easy to put in this conversation. The chicken or whatever came first was the crime. And if you commit crimes, you are undoubtedly going to be poor. I don't think any of us have an issue with that. The solution is to address criminality rather than make apologies for people being raised in, poor circumstances.
Okay.
Sir, that's not how it works.
Not in your mind, bro. Not in your mind. But in reality, that's how it works.
That's how.
Kieran, I'm going to go ahead and let Soonie speak. And then you guys, we're going to move on to the next topic. This is a little bit difficult because, and Kieran, I know that you have your opinion about this, but you don't really have any evidence to base what you're stating. So it's a little bit difficult to have a conversation about this. But let's hear what Soonie has to say. Go ahead, Sue.
I do have evidence, by the way.
Okay.
You have evidence.
You can present it right after Soonie.
Everybody summed it up. I don't know what else to hit him with. We hit you with statistics, real world tangible facts. The only thing I can just
but they're not though. They're lies.
Accountability is a hell of a drug, yo. Denial. Denial is one hell of a drug. You do this to me on Facebook. You will deny reality just to say you're a descendant of slave and you have absolutely no proof that you were even an African that came over here. To think that all black people came off of a freaking ship sold by other black people at that, and to say that we only suffered trauma here as if other blacks probably didn't rape us and do all this other extra shit. There's nothing else to say on this topic. You are denying reality.
My ancestors owned slaves.
Reality, what's the reality?
Reality is we're here. It's 2022, and it's time to let go of so-called slavery talk because you weren't a slave. I wasn't a slave. Nobody black on this screen was a slave. What it's called is stolen valor. You are stealing somebody else's tragedy and you're attaching it to yourself because you want some sort of pity party for being black. And I'm sorry.
Amen.
So,
by the way,
wait a minute. I have a simple question. I have a simple question. What year did racism end?
We're on the next topic.
Yeah,
I was a slave.
Kieran, if you have any statistical data to back up, you have 60 seconds to start saying it, and then we're going to move on to the next topic.
Well, what I was going to say when I was saying that we were already here, European settlers, colonizers had taken note of that in their own accounts.
You said colonizers.
Columbus never said that he discovered America, and when he got here, he said, "Hey, it's a bunch of Negroes here, like we saw in Ethiopia."
He's talking about Native Americans, bro.
No, that's not.
Bro.
That's not what the writer said. The writer said
No. I'm paraphrasing. I'm being funny.
He was Native American.
I'm being funny, but yes,
it was Native Americans though. They said he described the hair. He said they're darker. He said in the writings it says they're not as dark.
So none of okay. So he didn't use the word Negro.
No, now I'm describing what
Okay.
the people he's
All right. All right.
Next
He
subject.
saw
All
off-brand
right.
Asian
Goodbye.
people. That's what he
Bye.
saw.
Did he leave?
Listen,
I think he left.
he
Well,
reiterated.
what I was going to say before he left was like, even if we're buying, and I think Soonie's very right, this argument of like, the whole idea of slavery is like this whole victim complex. Like I just said, slavery literally doesn't have an effect after 2 generations. So even if we're saying, slavery was bad for black people, any disparity disappears after only 2 generations, which means nobody alive today has any effect on them because of slavery. So I don't know.
I think he has buck broken.
Why don't?
I'm sorry, man, but like this dude has never been to school because like these ideas they make like I went to like a majority non-white school and like it makes people angry, man. Like people like will come after white people in schools because of this kind of stuff. It's really harmful.
I agree.
Yeah, like I kind of love how like when you ask a black person about like Africans still owning slaves, so like that doesn't matter. It doesn't. But it's white people that are doing racist stuff.
What I saw right there, it was downright shameful. How many brothers and sisters piled on my brother, Tintin or whatever his name was. And I saw this man in the top right with the rainbow flag behind him, eyeing him, looking to break his buck.
Yo, next subject.
All right, guys. Listen, as the moderator, I have to remain neutral. So stop making me, react to this stuff. Okay, I got to be professional. Okay, so let's move. We were going to go to Black conservatives, but I'm hoping that Kieran comes back because I feel like he might have something to add to this. So we're gonna go back to Black conservatives, but we're going to talk about the gay community because we have Brian up there with his Trump flag and his gay pride flag right next to each other.
Gross.
So it's a perfect time to bring up the question that I think a lot of us have been asking, which as of late, it seems like homosexuality is really, really pushed hard in the conservative movement. Why is it important that we put our sexuality over our nationality? Brian, since you are the expert gay, we're going to let you talk.
Okay, well, did you ask me a question? I'm not sure.
Yeah, what do you like? Why is homosexuality being pushed so hard in the conservative movement?
Well, first of all, everyone needs to understand. There's only one group of gays that are pushing an agenda, and that's the liberal gays. Us conservative gays, we are patriotic Americans. The reason I have this this rainbow flag flying is because when you see like at a Trump rally, you see like an anti-Trump rally or something, you will see that you'll see that rainbow flag flying. So I fly my rainbow flag. Conservatives have got to get on to identity politics because
what? I agree.
I agree with that.
I agree with that. I don't think you're gonna like what's gonna happen if we do, though, man.
Hold on. Let Brian finish.
May I finish? Okay.
Okay,
I'm going after you, Brian.
Okay. Well, get in line. Okay. I put the rainbow flag up and my Trump flag up because I see every anti-thing against Trump or Republicans. That rainbow flag is always flying in the background. When you watch it on the news and everything, you see that rainbow flag if it's an anti-Republican rally. I do that. So I have brought so many gays back to the Republican Party.
By sucking and fucking?
Yo.
Brian, are you Christian?
Fuck you.
No, fuck you. No,
Brian.
Fuck you.
No.
Brian, are you Christian?
If this is gonna be a fucking conversation, then make it right.
Yeah.
Don't be trying to fucking
Brian.
insult me.
Brian,
Let's not.
are you
Let's
Christian?
not do that.
I am a Christian.
Okay. Well, are you aware that
Wait.
that's
Okay, are we talking on the subject? Are we talking on
Tap
the
Bryson
subject of the
in. Tag Bryson in.
yes,
Are we talking on the subject that we were just talking
are,
on?
and I'm
you want
gonna
to
respond.
all
right, guys.
Hold on, guys. Is Brian? Are you done with your point, or did you have more to say? Because I want to let you finish.
Well, fuck that guy who just said that to me, whoever the hell it was.
Okay, you guys
just move on and have
Fuck
a
you.
conversation.
I was dumb.
So
let's not.
I'm
did
going to
it.
respond to
Okay.
what you said. You said that there are no conservatives pushing the gay movement. That's a lie. There is an entire group called the Log Cabin Republicans. Christian Walker is one. Richard Gunnell is one. And they definitely push gay agendas. They're pushing legislation that forces gayness into our culture. If everybody doesn't want to accept it, I think you guys should say, you know what? I'm going to respect the fact you don't want to accept it and leave it at that. But what you said was completely false. There are conservatives pushing this, and there are big names pushing it, period, point blank.
Bryson?
Just to be clear, Brian, you said you are a Christian, correct?
Yes.
Are you proud to be gay?
I am who I am.
Are you proud to be gay?
I am who I am.
Are you proud to be gay?
Are you proud to be black?
Can you answer the question? Can you answer the question?
I don't have a Black Lives Matter flag behind me though.
Am I proud to be? Am I proud to be gay? I'm proud of who I am.
Hey, Bryson, can I just step in like on that point really quick? I'm proud to be white, but I don't have like a white pride flag. So you must be proud to be gay.
Yeah, you have to be.
I'm not ashamed of who I am.
Pride's literally in his name. It's not that complicated. It says deplorable pride, right? It is deplorable. It's deplorable in God's eyes.
Wait.
Okay.
So hold on.
Okay, deplorable pride. Does that say anything about gay?
No.
Yes, it's
pride.
gay pride. Look behind you. That's
Hey,
Brian.
Deplorable pride. No, excuse me. Deplorable pride came from Hillary Clinton calling us all deplorable.
Hey, bro.
Because we
But you literally have
voted
the
for
gay
President
pride
Trump,
flag.
and I'm proud.
Hey, bro. You proud to be gay? Like it's funny because you said you was proud to be gay earlier in your introduction, and it's funny.
I'm a proud gay Republican. Yes.
Okay. Boom. There we go. You just said it. So my
Are
next
you
question.
Are you a proud black man?
I'm just a proud man. My question for you is very simple though.
You're a proud black man. Okay?
Hey, Brian, let Bryson finish, please.
Why are you telling a black man how to think? Hold on a minute.
Why are you telling a gay man how to think?
Hey, Brian. Hey,
I muted him.
No, unmute him. Hey, Brian. So
why are you telling a gay man how to think if I can't tell a black man how to think?
Yeah.
Well, because when you guys started thinking freely, you just started sucking dick, man. So clearly you need somebody to step in and help you out.
Wait.
This is how this fucking conversation is going to go.
No,
Brian, I'm asking you basic questions, and I'm going somewhere. But if you can just ask them straight up, don't try to be like disingenuous with it. So
don't be ignorant with your fucking question either.
I've asked you basic questions this whole entire time. So I've been asking you questions, correct? Have I not?
I'm listening.
Yeah, okay. My question is actually like very interesting. Do you know what the Bible says about homosexuals?
What does it say?
It says in Leviticus multiple times that y'all should be put to death, that you shouldn't walk this earth, you shouldn't walk this land because you defiled the land. And then if you go to the New Testament in Romans, it says that y'all have been given over to a reprobate mind, which is why y'all do the things you do. And reprobate means mentally too far gone. That means you can't even come back. So are you aware that the Bible says that?
Would you like for me to judge you by the Old Testament, the same as you want to judge me?
Yes. So my question is, yeah.
But then yes, we're in the same fucking boat then, aren't we?
Hey, bro, is Romans Old or New Testament?
I go by the New Testament.
Is Romans in the Old or New Testament?
Let me ask you something,
bro.
Do you want me to judge you the same by the Bible as what you're trying to judge me?
I'm not the guy for that conversation because you can try that, but unfortunately, I live the way the Bible says. But my question to you is Romans in the Old or New Testament?
I have no clue.
Okay, interesting.
You want interesting? You wanted the truth, correct?
Yes. So Romans.
Okay, I told you the truth.
Great. Romans is in the New Testament. Okay, Romans is actually post Gospels. It's so New Testament that it's post Gospels. So my question to you is actually fairly simple. It says that gay people have been given over to a reprobate mind. So since the Bible says that, very clear cut, how are you a homosexual with a pride flag in the background and you have the audacity to blaspheme Christ and claim to be a Christian?
Because Christ is not like you. Christ accepts me.
No, he doesn't.
You don't have to.
I promise
he does.
No, he doesn't.
I promise you it does.
The Bible says that he doesn't, though.
The Bible says that he does.
Okay, which verse? Chapter and verse right now. I'll give you $1,000.
Can I tap in real quick? Can I tap in? I think there's a few things to go over. I think one of the major problems, and just to establish some ground, do you believe that you talked about identity politics within the conservative movement? Do you think a necessary part of our conservative identity is our role as Christians?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
No worries. Do you think a necessary part of our identity as conservatives is to be Christian?
I wish identity politics was not involved with being a conservative, but it is. The gay community, the Democrats have already monopolized on that, and for conservatives to sit back and not actually do it as well, then we're going to lose that battle.
Okay, well, that's a good talking point, but you didn't really answer it too much, so I'll just base off what I do know about you, which is that you yourself are a Christian. I assume you're familiar with Leviticus 18:22, which says that man shall not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination. That's from the KJV translation. You may argue that that's Old Testament. I remind you that many parts of the moral law within Christianity come from the Old Testament. Some people will compare it to, oh, that's just mixed fabrics. It's not. That's part of the sacrificial Levitical law, which was overturned with Christ's resurrection and second coming. The moral law still stands. The Old Testament will tell you not to commit adultery. That is still true of Christians. So
who wrote the Old Testament?
Multiple authors.
Men who were fallible.
Whoa! Now you're starting to get into dicey water. You said you're a Christian, but now you're writing off the commandments given to us by God, because as the Bible says,
you showed me one part of the Bible where God condemned me for being gay.
I just did.
Okay,
but look. The point is, man.
It was the parts that you're interpreting.
We'll cut to the chase. I think it's like, I don't know how gay Christians don't really understand this. The identity of your movement is called the Pride movement. What are the 7 deadly sins? I'll give you a hint. One of them is literally pride. You could not get more on the face about it. And what I think is alarming is the way that you said, God accepts me for who I am. No, mankind is fallen. We are in a fallen state. Our natural tendency is to push God away, to sin. What God asks us to do is to repent, to come to him, which is why God celebrates when we turn away from sin, cast it out of our lives, and as he says in the New Testament, go and sin no more. The problem is you're identifying with your natural condition as a fallen man, which is not something that any Christian should ever do, because the fallen natural man is in a unperfect state and a state where he can never be amongst God.
The same as you.
Hey,
yes, but I repent and turn from my sin.
Hey,
right?
And I repent every fucking night.
No, you don't. No, you don't, because you're proud of being
How do
gay.
you know? How do you know I don't?
Because you're part of a movement.
Hold on.
I have a non.
Wait, just hold on.
Okay.
I'm trying to get reins of this conversation. This is a conversation. I knew emotions would flare, but we need to calm down and just answer questions, because these are questions.
I thought this was something
we were gonna have hard questions. You can't speak when I'm speaking. It doesn't work that way. These are questions that are gonna get asked. You can answer them or not answer them, but we can't speak over each other, and we're not gonna yell. Mo is moderating, so please let's just be mindful of this conversation. Go ahead, Bryson.
I just want to read about.
I'm not going to have 8 people attack me at once
but
when
Brian,
I'm trying to.
Nobody's attacking you.
Brian, nobody's attacking you. But
what the hell are y'all watching? Because that's not the way it's going on here.
Right. Just calm down. We're not attacking.
I will say this, you guys. No, hey, you guys. I will put you in timeout if you can't be quiet. Stop with the DICK comments and stop with the F bombs, and let's just be respectful. Let's let people talk. We can't be talking over one another. So, Brian, don't respond to people while they're still talking to you. Bryson, go ahead.
He says, show me a verse in the Bible that condemns homosexuality, when there's dozens, but he wants the New Testament. So I just want to read the Bible verse. It's Romans chapter 1, and I'm going to start at verse 24. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worshiped and served the creature more than the Creator, who was blessed forever. Amen. For this cause God gave them up into vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust towards one another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves the recompense of their error, which was meat. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind.
Amen.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Carson.
Okay, Brian, I know you seem a little defensive. I just want you to know we're not against you. We're not
Why I
trying-
wouldn't be defensive?
I get that, man. I get it. Okay, we got a lot of people here. We want what's best for you. I want to start by saying that. But the reason that us generally are against the ideas of gay pride is because it includes like homosexuality and transgenderism, and living as a homosexual. Even if it doesn't seem like you are, even if you're like very masculine and you're living on a declaration that says your desires are the end all be all, and the conservative movement is fundamentally rejecting that idea that your desires are the end all be all. Essentially what the gay pride movement says is God gave me a purpose. He put me on this planet, to meet a woman, to create children out of our love and our connection. But I'm going to ignore that purpose and pursue my desires. And we oppose that idea because it's narcissistic. It's not conserving much of anything. And that's kind of our problem with homosexuality and the gay pride movement, especially as it relates to conservatism.
All right. So I actually have a question. I think they covered the biblical part of it, but my question is there was the walkaway movement where Brandon Straka and all of them got a bunch of Latinos, blacks, and gays to walk away from the Democratic Party. Great. The thing is that the conservative movement and the MAGA movement are two separate things. Why is it so important that you're gay? Why is it so important to only go by your identity? There's so many people like that, like Lady MAGA, Brandon Straka, who the only thing that really makes them special is that they're gay. There's literally nothing else that makes them special as an influencer other than they are gay. And my thing is why is it so important to put even ethnicity, I'm a black Republican or a black, conservative. It should just be I'm an American. I support America first. It shouldn't matter if you're black or gay. If you put gay as your platform or black as your platform, you're not advocating for America. In my opinion, you're advocating for yourself and you're looking for clout. You're trying to get a shock reaction out of people.
I don't know what happened.
He's muted.
You're muted. If you're talking, you're muted.
His dog was barking. That shit was funny.
He's
Brian,
still
unmute
muted.
yourself.
Hold on.
Unmute yourself, bro.
There you go. Can you talk now? I'm sorry.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Okay. I had to let my dogs out because they were going freaking crazy in the bedroom. But
okay.
What kind of dog do you have?
I have two Chow Shepherd mixes.
A wiener dog.
That's cool.
Wiener dogs. No, they're
right.
Chow Shepherds.
Well, do you know what a chow is? Retard.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead,
What
Brian.
did you say about a retard?
I was calling Dalton a retard.
Yeah, Beardson was calling Dalton a retard.
All right. The thing y'all people have got to understand is that there's only one group of the gay people that are pushing the agenda. And this comes from the left. We do not. I'm a gay conservative. I'm proud to be a gay conservative. I'm proud of who I am. Whether it be gay, white, male, whatever. I am proud of who I am. There's only one part of the gay community that's pushing the agenda to make you believe that men can give birth to children, that men are women, that all this other crap that's going on. That doesn't come from the gay conservatives. That only comes from the gay liberals. So, put your hand down. It's my time to talk. Okay, we are.
Come on, man. I'm trying to get everybody to be respectful.
When you first came on, the only thing is all you want to do is, I thought this was like conservatives sitting here having a conversation. All you wanted to do was spout Bible verses at me and condemn me for who I am.
You claim to be a Christian. I have respect for you. I can be disrespectful.
Calm down.
Hey, listen. I'm the type of person here, and I'm being nice.
I'm hearing like 50 people talking.
All right, guys. I asked a non-biblical question. I'm just asking. My question, just to remind you, it's not an attack. This is a question. Why is it necessary to put your sexuality before your nationality? Shouldn't you be more proud to be an American?
Is not before my nationality.
Then why is there a pride flag next to the Trump flag, and why is there no American flag back there?
Because it's my fucking house, and I can put whatever I want on my wall. Respect.
So
my
Brian,
I respect your rights. I'm just asking you a question.
I've got five. Listen to me. Dude, I've got five American flags flying in my front yard. How many do you have?
Man.
Yeah, do you want to? I'm screaming
all
at
right,
you.
that's
but
not.
Yeah, you need to take a chill pill,
All
man.
right, so
You
Brian,
need to
I'm being
out.
respectful, and I'm gonna ask you the same question again. Okay, so like my thing is that why is it? What does the movement have to gain by you coming out and putting your sexuality ahead of American, a gay American? Why can't you just be American and join the rest of the narrative? Why does everybody have to know that you're gay? Why does everybody have to know that you're gay?
Bro, let him finish.
Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I couldn't understand your question, so repeat it again.
Okay, I'll say it one more time. So like my question is like, why is it so important that I'm not attacking you for being gay? Like I'm just saying, why is it so important? Like for me, I'm gonna rephrase it. Why if I said I'm black and I'm a black American conservative, why is the black so important to put out there? Like why do we have to push the fact that I'm black? Why can't I just be an American joining in if I want to have equality and advocate for America? Like why is it so important to say that you're a gay? I think that's what everybody's asking is like, why is that a huge part of your political identity?
Well, look at it this way. 80% of the gay community votes and are brainwashed by the Democrats to vote for the Democrat Party. Why is it not that I can be out there positive for the conservative movement and the rainbow flag flying and I've done this and brought more people over to the Republican Party? I mean,
Well, if I can say something real quick,
fucking deal.
I think it might be, you know, it might be very telling. The majority of gay people are likely Democrats because Democrats argued for gay men, and you may disagree with me because I've heard some gay Republicans be like, no, Trump is the real defender of gay people. And no, that was Obama. The Democrats pushed gay marriage before the Republicans. There's no argument about this. This is the reality of it. So maybe most gay people are Democrats because the Democrats pushed gay marriage and pushed the gay agenda. And if we know that about the Democrats, why are we so willing to adopt their positions only like 5 years after they became Democratic positions? Why are we adopting the platform of the left?
I'm against gay marriage.
On what grounds? On what grounds?
I was against. I think we could have had gay marriage or gay unions long before we actually had them if we would have just respected the tradition that marriage is between a man and a woman.
Okay.
I think we could have been achieved that right back in the 70s if we would have just accepted civil unions, changed the term.
Right,
I mean, that's where I was coming from.
Okay, I think that's a pretty good take, and I think we can build from there. So the reason
don't look at me like I'm a freaking enemy, okay? I'm a conservative.
Hold on.
Take a chill pill, man.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to establish some ground here. I think we can work well from this.
Said that? Fuck you.
Chill out,
bro.
So,
Wait a minute. I'm going to shut this down really quick. Everybody's going to get muted for 2 seconds.
I want to hear what Kai was saying. Kai had a good point.
He's going to say what he's going to say, but I'm going to interject. Everybody here is trying to be respectful to you. You can feel defensive because we are saying something that goes against your lifestyle, which is completely fine. We also sat here and clowned on Kieran, and everybody in the comment section loved it. So it's no different. All of us disagree with Kieran there, and we all gave him hard questions. If you can't handle it, I'm going to ask you to leave the chat. But the disrespect and yelling and F and all that, it's not necessary. Kai is just asking you a question. Nobody here has anything against you, period, point blank. We're being respectful. These are tough questions, which is why this conversation was called The Conversation, which is why we're having it.
And if you think everyone here was being respectful to me, then you're just as delusional as they are.
Okay.
If you're gonna call me delusional after
then delete me then put me on.
Brian, you need to chill out, man.
All right.
Chill out. Take a chill pill.
How about I do it for you?
Can I say one thing for Brian? Okay, can I say one thing for Brian? So Brian,
Kai was talking.
Just one thing. So the reason why this conversation was called, and the reason why Soonie and Bryson and I had this idea,
and
Dalton, is because these are conversations that we literally haven't been able to have with the opposing side. So I just need you to understand that naturally it's going to be kind of tense because we haven't been able to have these conversations on a public platform before. Okay, so it is going to be a little bit tense. It is going to be a little bit heated because these are pent up frustrations that we've had. So like, it's just roll with it, smile, laugh it off. Just just stick to your intellect and respond to the questions. And if you want to attack me, I'll give you the same respect, and I'll just respond to what you ask me. Okay, bro? Does that make sense?
I'm not attacking anyone here. And first of all, I didn't attack Karen either.
I didn't say you did.
I'm not interested in attacking you, man. I think, we've established some good ground. I think your last statement about, not favoring gay marriage,
exactly.
that's a very good position. We can build from there. So let me kind of explain why we as conservatives are a little bit worried about, the adoption of gay people into the movement and the adoption of that identity of being gay in the movement. It's because words really have meaning, right? And fundamentally, the word conservative means to oppose progressivism. The advent of public homosexuality is inarguably a recent and a progressive phenomenon. There's a reason that a lot of left-wingers, all of them in fact, are really supportive of gay people. Now, the issue that we have is within the identity of the LGBT community, because this is a community which identifies itself solely around sexual attraction. The logical conclusion of accepting a community that identifies solely around sexual attraction is seeing displays of said attraction in public. There is no reason, or rather there is no reality where LGBTQ community exists in any capacity and there is not ultimately a gay pride parade where there's rampant degeneracy, and when kids are being exposed to people in dog suits and with condoms out and everything like that. There's no reality where these two things don't come together. The fact of the matter is, if gay marriage were not legalized, if there were not a push for the acceptance of gay marriage or of just identifying as a gay person within public life, we would not have child drag shows. We would not have the trans issues that we're having right now. All of the social degeneracy we've been seeing for the last 5 years would simply not be there. This is the opening of the floodgates culturally. And as conservatives, from the definition of conservatism, we need to oppose the acceptance of the gay community.
Let me ask you something. How many of you people on this panel have actually gone out there? You people, the people that I freaking see. How many of you people that have gone out there and thrown rallies against Drag Queen Story Hour? None of you. I have.
Yeah, I have.
I was going to say, yeah.
Okay. I've gone out there. My organization does. We also stand up for men to be out of women's sports.
Great.
We also go out there. We have thrown rallies to stand up for children, for child sex trafficking.
Hey, we love to see it. We love that. We do.
Okay,
I don't know who you're arguing with.
Brian.
Brian, you need to take a chill pill, man.
No, you need to take a damn chill pill. You need to stop lumping gay conservatives in the same group that you're going to put.
I mean,
Brian, can I tell you why? Because you're making this statement that we are lumping you into this group. Okay, exactly. I agree, we are, and there's a good reason for that. Can I tell you why?
Okay, why?
Because the LGBT movement, right, was started many years ago to get homosexual marriage legalized in the United States, which, by the way, was against the states. Did not want homosexual marriage to be legal in the first place, but it was upheld federally, and the states were overruled in the Supreme Court, right? But let's establish for a fact that everything happens like a domino effect. Once conservatives allow gays into the conservative movement, it opens up a floodgate. And the next thing you know, we'll say, oh, well, if trans people are just being trans, they can do it. Meanwhile, they're molesting kids and they're doing all this other.
Do you think gay people are going to go away? Do you really think that?
I hope so, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
You know what?
No, we're praying for
with this conversation. Y'all can have this conversation because y'all are not concerned with y'all put every gay person in the same fucking box. You're not looking at.
We're not.
There's a difference. Would I put black people in the same box? No, there's a difference between liberal blacks that think they're a victim all the time.
Hey, Brian.
You can take a chill pill, Brian.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Brian.
I got a super chat.
Wait.
Hold on.
It was a great question. Would you trust? So basically, the question from my chat is, which person present do you want to be in the presence of your children the least on this panel? And I think many people would choose
Dalton.
The homosexual. Dalton. Okay. No, I think many people would choose the homosexual.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian.
Or actually, I would choose Kai because he's in a bathrobe. I don't know what's going on
Brian,
there.
genuine question, right? And a statement at the same time. The reason why I love all y'all into the same group, and I do, period, point blank. Conservative gays is really no different than regular gays, and I'm explaining to you why. I've been personally canceled, and I'm sure you know this if you want to admit it on the screen right here. I've been personally canceled in this movement because of the gay people, the log cabin Republicans.
You've been canceled by gay liberals.
No, not true. Let me tell you the names. Brokeback Patriot, Richard Grinnell, Rob Smith, Brandon
Well,
Strauss.
you're being canceled by Brian Talbot right now because I'm through with this fucking bullshit.
See,
They got chill pill.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat had no problem when we were all correcting Kieran on different statistics. But you seem to have a problem when we're bringing up valid concerns as conservatives, and he didn't answer one question. Why is the pride flag behind you if your sexuality is not what's important? That question didn't get answered.
But
Nobody in the chat is calling that out. Now, the extra stuff that people are doing, sure, it's immature, sure, it's stupid, but this is what the First Amendment entails. You should be able to take what somebody is saying and just answer the questions. You know how many times I've been called a nigger, a coon? Should I just freak the fuck out and rage quit because somebody called me that? No. Prove them wrong by having a constructive conversation. And if you can't handle it in the chat, then you should leave too.
You know,
this is what this
can I just say, I'm so glad we weren't talking to one of those liberal gays, the ones that run away from conversations and, they get all offended over everything. I'm so glad we weren't talking to one of those guys. They're so different from all those conservative gays. I think the problem is that, I said something, which is that if you support public, acceptance of the LGBTQ community, it eventually leads to the social degeneracy we're seeing now. The social degeneracy, which he said he disagreed with, sure. And this is the point I was making. You can disagree with it all you want, but these kind of things would not be happening if the LGBTQ community was not accepted in the first place. And the fact he didn't understand that put us just at an ultimate crossroads.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And go ahead. Sorry, cousin.
I was just going to say, the idea of gay marriage and having gay couples, it insists the idea that men and women are just interchangeable. He is not conserving the family unit. He's not conserving even the identity of gender at all by promoting gender pride. It's ridiculous. And I was going to ask him, what other conservative position do you actually have? Because you're clearly not conserving the family unit. You're clearly not conserving Christian moral values. It's come on, man.
Bro, they just use words like Christian as trigger words. Just like a lot of people use the word patriot, 1776. It's all trigger words for marketing, bro. These people don't believe in half the crap they talk about. That's why he got so angry, because he's mentally ill, obviously. And when you're mentally ill, it's very hard for you to control yourself in these type of situations.
Yeah, I was honestly respectful. I didn't even bring the biblical. I could have brought the biblical stuff in, but I just asked him why he felt like it's important to have gay in front of America, and he couldn't answer the question.
Yeah, I don't think you should be. I don't think you should be doing that, because not bringing up the scripture is not risking offending, being afraid to offend somebody and to leave out the Bible. That's just not a good look, in my opinion.
No. So I did that because I just wanted to see if you could hold any type of point or bring up any type of alternative narrative, and he just couldn't. He just kept getting triggered.
I think the more we try to ignore, the more we scared, the more we be afraid to offend people, the more left we're gonna get. I mean, it's already probably too far gone. The Republicans are just a bunch of gays now. Let's be honest.
I thought it was interesting, Bryson, when you asked him if he was, the very first question you asked him was, is he proud to be gay? And he could not answer that question. And you could see in his demeanor that he was struggling with that. Yep. So when we say mentally ill, that's what we're talking about. When somebody is seriously struggling with something that shouldn't come natural to you. I know a lot of people believe that you're born this way, but that is kind of the symptom of not being internally okay with who you are.
You know the funny thing? Do you know why I asked him that question? Because he had just said he was proud to be gay. He had just said it. So I asked him the question because humans are interesting. So
he felt convicted by me simply asking the question, which is why he didn't like the answer, even though you just said it. You already answered the question, really. But when it's asked directly, it becomes difficult because deep down, bro, you know what you're doing is disgusting.
Wait, I see somebody in the comments. Donna Knox, are you gay or gay Republican sympathizer? They're saying that you'll talk calmly.
Hey, we gotta pray for him now.
Is it a woman? Is it a woman that says she'll talk calm?
See, this is one of these interesting things, right? Like, and I think, again, I said this at the beginning. It should be so apparent. Your movement is called the Pride Movement. That is one of the 7 deadly sins. I mean, that should just be obvious, right? But the idea of like, you need to accept me as I am, this is the most leftist idea and the least Christian idea ever. No Christian will tell you that you as you are enough. It gets into this idea of, certain people are born with certain inclinations, with certain temptations. In fact, plenty of straight people are born and naturally have lust. But the response to that by the church, by conservatives, shouldn't be like, oh yeah, that's fine, just the way you are. Go out and jack off to pornography, go masturbate. Lust is just the way you are. No.
Clip that.
That fallen state is the problem. And if you accept it just as you are, you're not at all Christian and you're not at all conservative. So it's just
we gotta pray
frustrating
now.
And again, gay people, they get very upset. They say, we're being really mean to them. Look, we believe that your lifestyle is going to lead you to hell. We're trying to get you to change it so you don't get eternally damned. What is more loving than us wanting you to be saved? It comes from a place of love. We wouldn't, in fact, the most evil thing ever is if somebody tells you the thing that will get you to hell is the thing you should keep doing. That is true evil. So
Donna wants to come on. She has a gay son. Yeah, she has a gay son.
I liked her comment. It said her son was gay. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, put her on.
Put her on.
Yeah.
Okay.
She said she'll talk calmly.
Justin, I don't know what happened to Justin. His audio
Soonie,
didn't work.
If there's a guy, Vince, he may want to come on a bit later. I don't know if he's in the No, Vincent James.
Okay.
He may come on later. He messaged me on Discord. He's got a really popular show on Cozy. And he used to have a massive YouTube. Yeah, he's fucking huge.
Let's get Gibby in here in the meantime. Fill it up a little bit more. It's just cozier with him.
Let's get the shirt on you first.
Yeah, how about you put some clothes on? How about you put some
cozy?
clothes?
I'm literally.
You're a conservative. You're a conservative. Put some clothes on.
Just like an OnlyFans thought out here, man.
Conservatism. Yeah, it's so true.
Hey, we should discuss OnlyFans too, man.
Are we getting?
I'm sure we would all have a ton of disagreements.
I sent her the link.
OnlyFans is good.
She said not sure how to link up.
We should definitely be talking.
You just gotta click the link, Donna.
Graphics.
You just gotta click the link.
Dana, her name's Dana. She's like,
oh yeah, we should also discuss porn and banning porn.
We should not.
We have some disagreement.
Yeah, we shouldn't. Yeah,
we shouldn't.
Dana, if you're listening, you just need to click on the link that Soonie sent you, and it should bring you right in.
If you're doing it from your iPhone, you got to copy and paste it to your browser.
Well, at least we got Gibby here. Gibby's a gay Trump supporter, so he might be able to.
I'm more oppressed than
a gay
what was that
Trump
bullshit? I'm cut off for like 30 minutes.
And he's fat. He's fat, gay, and black.
And Jewish.
Don't forget Jewish. Hold on. There's more neurodivergent.
Transgender too.
He's crippled.
Yeah, I'm in a wheelchair.
He's not able-bodied.
He's one of Voldemort's Horcruxes or whatever.
He resembles the snake in Harry Potter.
Furry, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously.
What are the next topics, Mo?
His profile pic is his persona.
That are in the lineup.
His persona is a silverback gorilla.
All right, so the next topic that I was going to transition to is the topic on Black conservatives. And why they are so misrepresented or attacked. I kind of thought it was an interesting segue because I remember when we were on with Lady Maga, I think she said this question to you, Soonie, when you asked her, why do you have to lead with a gay conservative? And she said to you, why do you lead with Black conservative? And your response was, because, I'm sorry, see, I'm confused now because he's confused.
It's hard, yeah.
And your response was, because I can't change the color of my skin. that's what you see. I'm a Black conservative, right? So I thought that was an interesting response, and we wanted to bring that back up to the panel about how Black conservatives are constantly attacked in the movement. We have, Candace Owens. I mean, we have Bryson that's constantly attacked for his views because he, is very committed to the way he feels about the word and what being a conservative means. So what do you guys think about that? Why don't we start with the Black conservatives, Bryce or Soonie?
Why do they get privilege?
Because they're
Black
Black.
privilege, bro. Black privilege. Come on, bro.
I think the difference is that we literally get targeted because we're Black conservatives. I know a lot of people think you can choose being gay. I mean, you can't choose being gay and you're born that way, but that's a lie. There are things that influence you and that directly affect your childhood. There's always some trauma there. Nine times out of 10, if you ask a gay or a trans person why they are the way they are, because they've experienced some trauma, and it alters upstairs. So we get it more because we're literally Black, and we're not pandering or leaning to the left on things. Like, I'm realistic. There are a ton of issues in the Black community that need to be talked about, period. And I don't see a point in sitting and talking about white people. I just don't. They're the least of my worries. And just like I feel like white people don't give a crap about Black folks, it's the same way around. I don't wake up and say, what's going on in the white community and obsess over it. I literally could care less.
Do I have permission to steer this into a more controversial place? Because I don't think we're going to disagree much on this topic.
Go ahead.
Oh gosh.
Go ahead, Kai.
Oh gosh.
Soonie, what do you believe is, and maybe Bryson, I think Bryson will agree with me. I don't know though. Soonie, what do you believe the driver of the issues in the Black community are?
Culture.
Do you believe that?
Because
you saw the live stream that we had. You saw the live stream that we had the other day with Tyler Bluntman, who still has not reached out to me to schedule the debate that he said he would definitely schedule with me. And I definitely wouldn't assume that he's trying to dodge it. But you heard the conversation we had, and we described how in like every single developed or majority white country in the world, Australia, England, New Zealand, Canada, the United States, there is a disproportionate amount of crime committed by Black people. And if the argument is that culture causes this, do you believe that all of these countries have similar Black culture?
Well, when there is no father in the home, there is no law and order, which means emotions take over. And most of the kids or young Black men that are committing these crimes have no father. So they take on their mother's emotions. And when you do that, you don't know how to control yourself, and that breeds more violence. No, I can't say that. I don't know if it's the same in other countries. I'm going to be honest. Maybe they have a culture that's just violent, but does that speak for every Black person in the planet that you're just going to be violent because you're Black? No.
So I can respond.
I want to pass it to Bryson.
Yeah. So Kai's correct. I think 5 out of 10 most countries with the highest murder rate, based on statistics and how they do it, are usually African countries, like 5 out of 10, if I'm not mistaken. But you can't really view it in that way, because like I can bring up the same Nigerian statistic I brought up for him. Nigerians that come to this country, they'll commit the same amount of crime. And also, if you want to talk about something else about culture, white countries are the most atheist countries. Black countries are way more religious than white countries. Not only that, if you look at the cultures, who are the groups of people that committed the most murder in history? Because murder rates is only from within that country or that state or that city and things like that. But who has done the most genocide? Who has done the most murder for real? Because if you're going to make the point that because basically I think what you're getting at, correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle, is that since there's a common theme when in Black countries and Black people in America commit murder, you're trying to say it's inherent, correct?
Not necessarily inherent, because I'm not a determinist. I believe that everybody has free will, but I use the example or the metaphor of the oven and the cake. So this is the genes versus environment argument, right? The temperature of the the temperature of the oven, the environment, can affect the display or how the genes present themselves. But you can't bake a cake with ingredients that are not already in it, right? So the environment, the oven temperature definitely plays a role, but the cake that you make is always going to be made with the same ingredients. And I think that if we see the same kind of cakes being made in different places in the world kind of universally, part of that usually has to do with the ingredients. Of course, the environment is something that we can, to an extent, affect to change the outcome of our cake. But ultimately, the ingredients have something to do with it.
So
and I don't think many.
And how many cakes are you trying to make here, Kai? In what amount of time?
Well, in what amount of time? Okay, shout out my boy Nick. But just real quick though, I think you can only make that argument if you look at it from face value. Because if you look at the most murderous people in history, they're usually whites. Or you wouldn't call them.
Go big or go home.
The Chinese killed more people than anybody else in history.
Yeah,
and the
Mao
Chinese
Zedong makes Hitler look tiny.
Mao Zedong killed about 70 million people.
It's wild. And before that, they're genocide.
If it's 70 million people, I'm going to give it to Chinese because when I was researching, the Chinese seem to not be in that research. But I did see
they keep winning everything. They win everything. What's up with these people?
Hey, the Chinese win everything. But long story.
We ended with the 6 million.
What? Everything. They may not have the physical aspect, but dang. But now on a serious note though. But what I can say is if you look at the more predominantly black countries, they are way less murderous than other, if we're going to use races or other cultures, way less murderous than other cultures when it comes to that aspect of genocide and things in history.
Well, that's not entirely
know.
true, though. If I can interject,
Rwanda?
that's not true.
Yes, it is.
There's Rwanda. There's been several genocides in South Africa between the Bantu people and the Georgian. There's been Uganda. There's in Ethiopia. They're genociding right now the Tigrayan people in the north. And these aren't even all religious conflicts.
I'm willing to bet you $1,000. $1,000 that look at the history outside the Chinese part. Look at history. I bet you, no disrespect, people with a lighter tone skin seem to commit more genocide. The only people that was in competition is probably Muslims.
Honestly, depends on if the numbers are accurate. Depends on if the numbers are accurate.
I think what what Bryson is saying is actually kind of true, right? But I don't think it's because these are particularly like murderous people. I think it's because the kind of track record of European civilization, which is, kind of like this is the origin point for white people, if that's what we're talking about. The track record of European civilization is conquest, it's conquering, it's large scale war. So if we're talking about genocide in that capacity, I think a lot of the reason why genocides have been so effective by white people, and don't get me wrong, like I don't think the genocides are good, but the reason they're killing so many people is because they have developed ways to kill a lot of people. There's lots of development, and then there's that habit to conquer and take things over. I think the violence that we see is different. I think the violence that we saw like out of Europe.
Wait, before you continue, let's just be clear. I just want to be clear on what you just did. You basically created a reasoning, logic for the murder. Correct.
Yes.
For the murder. Okay, I'll just make sure. Okay, cool.
Well, 100%. I mean, not all. There's a reason why it says that murder is not sin. It's the unjust murder, right? It's the unjust killing, right? So if you kill somebody and it's like the reason is because you're avenging somebody, or it's like law and order, like it's a death penalty. Not all murder is the same. Obviously, that's not even an argument. And I think the rationalization for it, like killing somebody because they stole your Jordans, is a little bit different than like killing the Native Americans because you're trying to take over the westward expansion and whatnot. I think the rationalization. Like I said, hold on. I think neither are good. I think neither are good. The violence is not good, but I think it's a little bit different.
Wait, I want to respond to that because you said we kill each other over Jordans. Cool, I give you that. You guys kill each other for putting a foot on a property. Do you guys remember that incident in Texas?
I think that's a little castle doctrine.
Don't tread on me.
Hey guys,
you guys go shoot up schools because you get bullied.
As opposed to what? Black people shooting up schools?
Listen, hold on. Listen. I got a question. I want to respond to Kai. Hey Kai, I'm actually willing to say that trying to take over a country, I'm willing to say biblically, I bet you murder would be more justified in the case of somebody stealing your Jordans than to simply wanting to take over a country. What would you say?
Like I said, I don't even disagree with you. Like, I'm not defending the murder, right? I'm just saying that like the rationalizations are a little bit different. I'm not saying that any particular group of people is, or their murder is better or worse, because I think all murder is, wrong, right? If it's unjust. But I would say that the way it manifests is pretty different. Like, so let's say the conclusion of the murder of lots of people, like the genocides either in Africa or whatnot, with apartheid, or the taking over of the Americas, All that has happened. We now have the Americas. The whites, or the people who have conquered those lands, afterwards did not really commit violence the same way. So it means that the violence was to produce an end. Whereas I think a lot of the violence that we're seeing right now in, places like Detroit and Chicago is sporadic violence that comes less out of a means to an end, but rather more like sometimes symbolic, like, whether it's a gang war or it's over drugs and whatnot. I think the means, or rather the reasoning for it, is a little bit different. And I think that matters.
I think you guys are kind of missing the. Can I say something real quick? Because you guys are missing the point of this. You guys are. It's not like black people never genocided themselves or had wars or conquered. We don't have written history of it, though, because they didn't have written language. But what we do have in recorded history are things like the Rwandan genocide, where if you look per capita, worse than the Holocaust, 1 million people in like a couple months with fucking machetes, not even guns. They were doing it with machetes, low tech.
So once again,
they are incredibly violent.
You just brought up per capita and this aspect,
guys. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I don't know. Like,
me and Kai know what we talking about.
There are genocides that happen with white people. There are genocides that happen with black people. Frankly, but most of the societies that commit genocides and these horrible acts of violence, most of them are atheists. Idi Amin, huge atheist.
That's not true.
Robert Mugabe, even our favorite mustache men. And like again, I think it's more centralized to Christianity. And like, because clearly you guys aren't going and killing people over Jordans. You and Soonie are chilling here talking to us. That's because you guys have a connection with Christ. But the people who don't have a connection with Christ, those are the guys burning down Chicago and committing, mass arson.
So I just want to respond to Kai just real quick, because Kai said, the reason is different. I will give you the reason is different. And on surface level, I much more appreciate, this might be disrespectful, but hey, it is what it is. I much more appreciate the people that came to conquer this country more than I appreciate the gang wars. Let's make that. but I do want to bring up a point, because there is a reasoning for these gang wars. If you know anything about how gang wars start, it's fairly simple, actually. There's a means to an end. Just like drug wars, you kill out your competition. You kill your competition, now you run the blocks. Or in gang wars, if you kill one of mine, now I got to take one of yours. We got to make it even. There is a means to an end. It may be a super stupid, silly means to an end, but there is a logic behind it all. So my only point is, though I agree with you on a surface level, just on a deeper level, I do think that there's a logic to their madness also.
You know what I think is funny? The conversations about, like genetics and predispositions to crime and whatnot, you have a lot of those discussions with leftists. Bryson has more reasonably explained this. He's made me more sympathetic to the culture argument than any leftist ever has, which I think is really funny.
Well, I'm not sympathetic to the culture.
It's a tough thing, right? Because we have we have the disproportionality in crime committed, and I do think one of these things is that there's a genetic component. Maybe it's even true that white people, with the way they've cushioned themselves sooner than most black people with the fruits of industrialism and the Industrial Revolution, I think maybe the white man's urge towards violence has been mediated or has been calmed down because he's so reliant on the industrial society. But that's neither here nor there. We don't need to get into this anymore, because I don't want to say anything that's terribly destructive. I appreciate it, Bryson.
Of course, but I do want to say though, a lot of people get mad when people call out clear-cut statistics. It is true that the most countries with the highest murder rates are predominantly black countries. Even though you go to Africa, you say the word black, it just depends. But they are more prominent in black countries. That's just simply a fact, a statistical fact. It is what it is. There's no point in getting offended by it. Period.
I just want to circle back to the fact that Carson was praising Hitler earlier.
Well, no, I wasn't. No.
Yeah, he said our favorite mustache uncle. Who was that? Who are you? Who are we talking about?
Giving you a hard time.
Kind of sus, dude.
I don't know. There's a lot of people have
So who is R.I.P. Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Joe Rogan got killed by Sam Hyde. Did you guys hear about that?
No. But
they got into a boxing fight. Sam Hyde put brass knuckles in his gloves and shattered his jaw. And they didn't get Joe Rogan to the hospital in time, and he died. So
that's not true.
No, yeah, I saw the photo. Sam Hyde's mugshots up there. I don't know what you're talking about.
What is this?
What?
Oh my god, bro.
That went on like 15 seconds longer than I thought it would. I thought that was going to be a really quick kick, but you were like, huh, hold on a minute. What's he saying?
This is kind of catchy. This is catchy too.
It's a good tune.
Soonie.
Like
Who
that's
is
how
this
Brian
person?
said
Back
Grace
in.
talks.
He's back in. Let's.
Oh my god.
I can't hear. I can't. What
Who
you
is
say?
who is this
Is it
person? I
possible
can't
that-
even unmute them.
He's going to do it again. He's going to do
I
it
don't
again.
know.
You can't
it
keep
possible I
getting
do what?
away with this.
Okay, I'm just
Okay.
gonna remove them. Okay, so real quick, Dana is on this, but I can't hear or see her because it says devices not connected. So Dana, if you can hear us, I'm going to kick you out.
Dana's got a gay son.
Oh, that would have been good.
Boy, thank you for your
In such
service.
cases.
Thank you for your service, Tanya.
Hey, put your son on the line. Put your son on the line.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next topic because in the comments, people are really wanting us to talk about Trump. So we do have a topic about Trump. I'm sure it's going to be a very broad topic, but we had a very specific question, specifically around the attacks that some of us that have long supported Trump, we voted for Trump, we were MAGA. And, you know, over time, we started to pick up on some inconsistencies, comments that he's made about the LGBTQ community, comments that he's made about getting the juice, you know what I'm talking about. And all of a
What?
sudden we have the juice. I can't
Oh,
say
okay.
it. I
I
can't
thought you
say
said
it.
Jews.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said too. I was like, man,
You know,
Trump's gonna get him. What's going on?
Wait a minute. Yeah, I missed that rally.
no, not the Jews. But we have been labeled as a Trump cult. Well, you know, we were a Trump cult, and now we have Trump derangement syndrome. So let's just talk about what Trump has been saying lately, why some of us are questioning him, and what do we think about those people that are just getting so triggered by the fact that we question this man, that we are starting to say, hey, hold on just a second. If you want our vote this next election, you got to earn it. Clarify what you mean. Who wants to
First
go
off,
first?
listen, nobody, hey, listen, people can do what they want. You can't mention Bryson Gray name on nothing. You can't say I'm chasing clout. You can't say I'm a fake. You can't say I'm nothing because I be in the streets more than 99.99999% of these people. Fact. Secondly, I'm a question whoever I want to question. The same way I was getting death threats for pinning on the MAGA hat is the same way I'm a question Trump. Trump is not Jesus Christ, that man is not God, and he has been super cringe the past year. His last speech, however, I will give it to him. Respect what respect is due. He talked about the mandates, being against it. He didn't promote the vaccine once. You know why that is? Because of people like us question him, and not you weirdos who be on the social media defending Trump at every turn, no matter what that man do, because deep down, y'all think that man is Jesus.
I mean,
Wow.
He
I
took
love
the words
Trump,
out of my
man.
mouth. Hey, look. Like I said on the live the other night, I am allowed to question Trump. You know why? Because I supported him before it was cool to support Trump. The people that have been there since day one, we have the right to say, first of all, you're not the person I voted for. Second, go back if you want my vote. I think Americans have become punks. Just because it is Trump, you get my vote. Sorry, it don't work like that. It don't work like that.
So like my thing is that like Trump became like the Trump MAGA, it became like a cult. Like people started saying that JFK Jr. was going to fall from the sky. That there's a bunch of conservatives that went to Texas and they waited in the field for JFK Jr. to come, and they're treating Trump like Jesus Christ, like they're waiting for a second coming after the last election. And for that, like if you like, they're treating people who criticize Trump, like Bryson, myself, and others, like we're criticizing God, like we're it's blasphemy, we're heretics or something. And it's just like it's gotten to a point where like in order for a public figure to truly represent his base, he has to be able to know what his base wants, and if he can't accept that, then like that's when you have a problem. That's why criticism is so important.
Trump is surrounded by Jewish influence, and I think he's able to see through that. And I'm saying that completely unironically. I mean, you look at who's his family married to. You know, I think Ivanka's married to a Jew. I think Donald Trump Jr. was married to a Jew, and then he got divorced, and now he's dating a Jew. So there's a lot of that going on. You look, and after his first term as president, obviously he's going to get donors, right? Big money donors, multinational corporations are going to be seeking him out to push these talking points, whatever it may be. And these people are oftentimes Jews. So, you know, at the end of the day, if Trump wants my vote, it doesn't come down to just standing against the mandates. It comes down to fundamentally being against the juice, and not the Jews, but the juice. All right.
Okay,
I mean,
Dalton.
coming out against the Jews, I'm in. But, you know, if he came out against the juice specifically, I think that would 100% solidify a vote for me in 2024.
And if I can add, if he comes out against the log cabin group and he says exactly what they're doing, this whole support for the pride and the gay shit, I'm not cool with that.
Same. Agreed.
Same.
Yeah, same.
Hey, it's me, Whirlswood.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think Mr. Man over there with the cult shit, like, dude, it's just so tired. It's so tired. We hear that from like Democrats and leftists all the time, that it's like a cult. It's like, I don't know. I've never seen like a Trump support. Like, I guess it's like the boomer, like QAnon conspiracy theorist, you want to say. It's a bit silly to say that's like your average Trump supporter. I know like Facebook browsing Trump supporter isn't the smartest guy in the world, but like,
you haven't come in contact with Cult 45 because they come in all shapes and sizes and ages. These are some people. Look, Emma Mitchum. Go check out her Instagram, and you will see Trump 45, Cult 45. She's
Never heard
she's
of her.
terrible, bro. She's
What's her name?
sickening. Emma Mitchum.
I feel like these guys are grifters, you know. like the reason people support Trump is because he represents like the will of the people and the hatred towards our corrupt system, you know. And then like if he does gay shit, we're gonna say he's doing gay shit. Like I don't know what to say. I don't know.
Simple.
Maybe there is.
I don't know, man. I love Trump. I absolutely love Trump. I've supported him almost since he announced his run, when he said that somebody's doing the raping on CNN with Don Lemon. I thought that was great, and I was like, I'm just going to vote for this guy, you know. But he's done some pretty sussy stuff. I mean, you know, I think we can all agree he's done some pretty sussy stuff. I mean, we didn't get a wall, you know, the whole like West Bank BS. Didn't care, you know. Moving to the Golan Heights, like whatever. I don't care. None of that stuff. It was all unimportant. But at the end of the day, too, I don't see anybody else though. I mean, that's the other like I think crucial component of this is like, who else is there to vote for though? You know what I mean? Like Ron DeSantis, the guy that's like taking trips as the governor of Florida to Israel for no reason. You know what I mean? Like I know everyone's pushing DeSantis like real hard or whatever. I don't see it with this guy. I don't think he's got the charisma. I don't think he's got the tenacity. And quite frankly, you know, until somebody, I mean, I'm open to somebody better coming along that's better than Trump. But really, until then, man, I'm still, you know, I'm going to criticize Trump, but I'm still voting for Trump. You know?
Yeah, I agree. And look, Bryson can take responsibility for that because we were the ones that were booing. We were the main ones doing Instagram lives, YouTube shows. If you don't think Trump's team watches people like us, especially being close to a lot of people who influence the movement, then you're tripping.
And I talked to the campaign, and they were already saying how they were trying to get him to switch up. But
exactly,
you know.
You said you disagree. Who you got, Bryson? Who you looking at?
Nobody. And I'm gonna tell you why I say that, bro. I still think I can't really say it on this stream, but I still think something in 2020 that came to pass was not legitimate and or valid.
Right, I feel you on that. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Until I see, because I was watching all these states talking about passing election integrity laws, but none of them included mandatory voter ID. And now I'm starting to realize how important voter ID laws is. So I made a thing with myself, a pact with myself, that I have to see. I'm about to lower it. I said 20. I need to see at least 10 states pass mandatory voter ID laws that didn't already have it for me to even give a crap.
I mean, I'm with you on that, man. Like, I'm right there with you. I think you and I are on the same page when it comes to kind of what happened in the last contest, so to speak. But you know, I don't know. At the same time, man, it's like it's a tough spot. This is a tough spot to be in, I think, because I don't want to just like give up either. You know what I'm saying? Like I still feel like as a citizen, like I got to do something. And I know it probably won't really mean anything. It'll probably, get thrown in the trash, whatever. But I still feel like as a citizen, I should do something,
Not for you on that.
The comment from Sunshine. Are you kidding me? Dalton makes anti-Semitic remarks. Real. Has likened homosexuals to pedos, and you still have him on here. Wow, this is really pathetic.
Hey, Sunshine, we call him Little Adolf.
Wait.
Y'all
want Soonie to kick him off? Y'all want Soonie to kick him off because y'all disagree with him?
Yeah, exactly.
That's you believe in freedom of speech.
Sounds like the liberal left to me.
So he said, so Dalton can't criticize Jews? What? But y'all are wow. I'm sorry, this is so wild.
Culture in action.
Let's get some opposition in here, Soonie. Bring them on.
What opposition? People are afraid to come on here, number one, because they don't like talking to real people. You got people in the comment section now like, you guys are being mean and kick him off because he said something I don't like. Well, I believe in freedom of speech.
And you know what? Also, something that's very interesting that a lot of people, I think, mostly, this one person, of what I can see in the comments, they could say, oh, he's anti-Semitic, which once again, I'm not disputing here. But I do think that, first of all, I'm America first. I'm a griper. I care about the United States. I want to put America first over our allies, over our enemies, over anyone else in the entire world. And I think that America First is the single most influential, truly grassroots organizations or movements in this fucking country. So for people to try and ban us and block us, I mean, it's only destructive to the right because we are, America First is truly a force to be reckoned with these days, if you look at the umbrella of conservatism.
Not only that, to me, Groypers is one of the strongest conservative movements, period. Because a lot of these other people got organizations, they got big donors, they got stuff like that. But you can tell the movements aren't natural. You can see it when they go, they live streams. You can see it when they try to prop up other people. They're not getting a lot of views. But with Groypers, you see the people on cozy.tv and stuff, people actually tuning in and viewing it. That's called an actual movement versus something gay and fake.
It's always funny. You can see these promoted channels, where Instagram will be doing everything it can to show it to literally everyone, and then they'll have 200 likes on a post,
Exactly.
they're getting free ads, man, and they're still failing because they're gay.
Gay facts. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yo, Ivan wants to come on, Soonie.
Who's Ivan? Oh
Ivan
gosh,
Cleveland.
I think we should bring Ivan on. Ivan would be a
you.
great asset.
Who's Ivan?
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Mo?
We have Avery here too. Does he have something to say to this topic?
Oh, I'm sure he does. He's very.
I don't like Avery.
I've been proud of how Avery has.
Wait, can you guys even? Can you hear
about my friend Avery?
Yeah, we can hear you. Good.
Oh,
Can you not hear us?
Yeah, I can. Okay. Yeah. What was the topic?
We were talking. We have people that want us to kick people off because their feelings are getting hurt and they don't truly believe in freedom of speech. And we were
on the
correcting
bigger
them.
topic of people criticizing Trump and if there's a cult of 45 and stuff like that.
Is there a cult 45?
I think there is a cult 45. I see a lot of, but I would say it is a lot of the older people, the older generation, the boomers, who are really out
So
here
true.
excusing everything he does just because I guess I don't know if they were brought up to like who's ever Republican and then love them for whatever they do, especially with Trump. I think because they've been muted so much, now they latch on to a person they feel like speak his mind every single day. But I also think that America First and anybody that in general that gets banned doesn't deserve to be banned. I feel like they have a place in the movement. They actually keep, establishment GOP in check in there. And I already see certain things with Turning Point getting changed by them making that difference. So I think they have a place in the movement. So yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, dude, I like it definitely is like boomers and stuff, and I think it's literally like I think they're just desperate for like a leader. I think they're desperate for like a like Jesus figure who's gonna come and save America, and they have latched on to the Trump to the point where like Q guys were out here saying that like Trump was secretly Joe Biden with his face fucking stitched on him, living in a nuclear bunker. Like this is how desperately they want.
Well, that that one's real.
Like
though.
a politician who believes in them, and they want like good guys to be doing things behind the scenes, you know. But like the reality is that like it has to be you who's doing like the good things, you know.
Arrests are coming, Wurzelroot. Arrests are coming. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Mass arrest.
Any
mass
day
pedophile
now.
arrest.
Any day now. All right.
Ivan's trying to come in.
Well, he's not here.
Who is
the studio's
Ivan?
full. The studio's
Oh,
the pro black.
so I'm gonna
Yeah, the studio's
Gibby, you
full.
can come back. Come back later, man. Ivan, come on. This is a losing
I got it.
proposition. I think
I got
sectioning
it.
off small groups. And then then everybody here should agree with the fact that we are against an LGBT group branching off of the conservative movement.
So true.
They have no
If
place.
that's going to go against what we're trying to do by sectioning off small groups, and everybody here should agree with us all on this screen. Why is there an LGBT conservative movement?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like no matter what the issue is, like amongst conservatives and the infighting and the different like groups, yeah, I think we could all agree that like children being transitioned and like gay conservative America is like the greater enemy to be like against, you know, no matter what.
Unless you're genuinely not conservative in any form.
So true.
And like I honestly don't understand. There's nothing conservative about being transgender. There's nothing conservative about being gay and wanting gay marriage to exist. There's nothing conservative about that. So literally calling yourself a transgender conservative or a gay conservative is just a contradiction in itself. You can vote for Trump and you can vote Republican all you want for economic policies, but don't think you're going to be welcomed into the movement, which I don't know why they are, but don't think you belong and should be welcomed into the movement. And we should make a path for you to be the face of the movement either.
Avery, I have a question for you. You earlier
Ivan's in the waiting room.
You earlier
I can't add
said
him because there's too many people.
you earlier said that you think that America First has its place. Do you think that its place is
Alexander
to
down.
always be in the background as
bring you
sort
back to
of
John
a
Alexander.
police for Con Inc., or do you think that its place is to truly be in power?
I think that most of the ideals that America First believes in should be were in the past our main ideals as conservatives, and I believe they do have a place front and forward in the movement. But I think as of right now, there's a lot of weeding out we need to do as a group, and I think they're going to be in the back for a while due to the fact that, you know, even Republicans, conservatives are becoming more liberal in all of their stances. So I think as of right now, they are going to be the police force for a while until people actually realize things like the LGBTQ plus coalition between Republicans is just something that's idiotic and unconservative in itself.
I agree.
I mean, I can respect that. I do, but however, I do think that, you know, America First is inevitable, and we're truly the future. I mean, the conservative establishment is crumbling at this point, and like, I mean, I think you're aware of it just as I am. You brought up the fact that conservatives are opening their arms and their hearts to evil degeneracy such as homosexuality and many other issues.
Oh, my
taking
bad.
more
I
of a
smelled detective.
taking more of a libertarian stance on things. So they'll lose, and we will win in the end. It's just a matter of time. I think Ivan needs to change his fire alarm battery.
Say something.
A very black
honestly-
thing, isn't it?
Exactly. I was just gonna say that.
I honestly
Only black
think
people don't change their batteries.
I think time is one of the most important things right now. Like what America First does in the time between now and 2024 is gonna really affect how most politicians are honestly gonna react, and how Trump himself is gonna react to people being people being, you know, anti LGBTQ plus coalition type things, because even with the vaccines and stuff like that, I didn't watch the rally, but I'm hearing a lot of things about he didn't promote his vaccine and stuff like that as he's been doing, and I think more pushback on him and holding him accountable and telling other politicians that they need to stop this pandering towards certain groups and stop basically, you know, letting liberalism come into the party is the thing that they need to really pay attention to. And I think America First needs to keep doing what they're doing, but in a more messageable, you know, type way. I don't know.
You don't like
tone it down a little bit.
I just want to show you what being liberal is. This is what we're dealing with when we open our arms to everybody and they bring their liberal ideologies and their thought patterns over here. This is Brian, okay?
Is this
the
the
Brian
gay
that
guy?
rage quit. the
Brian, you need to
that
take a
rage
chill
quit.
pill, Brian.
Damn, he's so angry.
What a freaking S show this was. If you wanted a productive conversation, you effing failed. The people on this panel conducted themselves no different than the effing left or Antifa. None of you want to win elections.
What?
None of you want to talk about the issues. You just wanted to pat yourselves on the back for bashing the gay conservative.
Kai, you were way too good at doing that voice, man.
That was so
What are you
gay.
conserving?
Literally,
what are you
about gay
conserving?
people reproducing? They do it by
What are they
molestation.
conserving themselves?
Yeah,
I don't
anyway.
know.
Right. needs-
He needs
I don't
a
know,
He needs
chill
to
pill
relax.
OD. Got to OD.
He
on
is
some
so
chill
mad.
pill.
He
Why
needs-
are you
Brian,
all
you need to check a
okay?
chill pill, man.
Baby rage. Brian baby rage Talbert.
Who hurt his
Here-
feelings? Okay.
I think it was me and
Who
Dalton.
hurt
I think
you?
we're the-
Exactly.
I hope, you know what? No, I hope I hurt his feelings. I hope I made him cry, honestly. I wish I could have said worse.
Oh gosh.
No, the chat's calling me sus now. No.
That was a really good gay impression. I'm just saying, Kai. I think you've been practicing.
Yeah, what
that.
was it?
Ivan.
The Jewish woman impression on Jaden's stream too. I don't know what's going on with me. It's like Venom. I'm being taken over.
Yes, James, are you saying something to me?
Yeah. So one of our prior conversations was, or I'm actually just going to make a subject right now. So like a lot of people on here are America First, and they believe that, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but a white majority needs to happen. Do you believe in
Yes.
that? Like,
I don't think
Okay.
it's not that I'm against America First. I'm for white people doing whatever is best for their people. But I'm going to look out for my people as well. I like to say, by the way, before I start this conversation, I'm a big fan of Bryson Gray only because he comes from my hometown. So I'm a big fan of him.
Where you from?
Greensboro.
Oh, I'm from High Point. Hey, bro, I be trying to tell.
I'm from
Hey, bro,
Ashboro. Let's go.
Let's go. Hey, bro, I be trying to tell you how wild High Point is. People think I just be tweaked out. I'm
No,
saying,
it is wild.
I'm telling y'all, bro, where I'm from. Hey, shout out to you, 336. You already know we in the building. You feel me? No
Yeah.
cap.
36.
Yes,
My
sir.
So yeah, I love
brothers.
Bryson Gray. I love everything he does.
my black brother Dalton.
But
Same reason why you make fun of liberals all day, every day. Shut up. Because they're gay, they're off limits.
Donna,
We make fun of gay people because it's easy.
Base.
Dang, where's Mo keep going? Sorry, go ahead.
Can
Ivan.
I say, from that angle, Ivan, you kind of look like the Fortnite guy. What's his name? Am I the only one that's
I like Ivan. I respect his opinion. I think that he should
Ivan's
be looking
cool.
out
I
for
like
his
Ivan.
people.
I've always loved Kai. I love Dalton. I love their America. I support the America First movement. It's for their people. They're doing stuff for their people. I'm not against that at all. I'm just
Very
saying
epic,
I want to
man.
be. I'm for my people as well.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, that's the whole thing, right?
Although
It's
it is stupid. It is stupid. I respect it. I respect that you're proud of your people. I think you should be. But I'm just, it's obvious, who's been more influential on the world and
On the West, this is undebatable.
I mean, yeah, exactly. So are you like in favor of a black majority in America?
I don't think that's even possible. I mean, blacks don't even have the fertility rates to even compete with that. And then also, I mean, people talk about America First is inevitable. I don't believe whites will. I know you guys want whites to be the majority. Totally not against it. You're advocating for your own people. I just don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen.
If I can just reply to Brian in the chat, I love how he's like, make sure all those 20 people that are watching see your ignorance. Well, that's really funny because, first of all, you signed up for this panel with all these 20 people watching, but that's not even true. With all of our other platforms that are streaming this, we have over 1,200 people who are watching this stream.
Right.
So,
I have almost 500 in mine, and Beardson has
which means
600.
We don't gotta
700.
prove
Think about
anything
that.
to Brian.
Almost 1,200 people saw your freak out, your temper tantrum.
I agree with
By the way, I think, are you the oldest person
documented.
on this panel? Are you the oldest person on this panel? I think it's like you and
Yep.
Beardson.
No,
And
Beardson.
Beardson's reaction was take a chill pill. So I think we found out who's more of an adult. Anyway, Ivan, I think your take's pretty good. Honestly, Ivan, you know, we have to look out for our people because our people don't look out for our people, right? White people just
agree.
don't take care of themselves. But we're not averse to helping your people too. You know, I think America could be great for all people if we were more conservative minded. But you know, one of the necessary steps to getting there is just white people being able to take care of themselves, which I'm glad you see the necessity of.
I mean,
it.
like, I understand that the
human being.
basis of Western civilization, it is the biology, it is the ethnic group, it is the white race. Like, unlike some conservatives, I admit that the West, it was created by and for white people. Like,
Yeah,
sorry, that's just the name of the game.
Yeah,
They're
I
gonna
respect
look
that.
out for their civilization and their people, and that's okay to me. But
The only thing I would, I'll go ahead.
go ahead. You can say what you were going to say.
I was just gonna add that, like, I mean, I'm all for it. I agree with everything that you're saying, and I do think though that it kind of is in the interest of Black Americans to make sure that a white racial majority stays in place here in America too, because if you get Hispanics to kind of overthrow and take over, which is kind of what the trend is right now,
that's the trend.
that's going to be a lot worse for African Americans than if white people stay within the majority. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's more of I don't support like mass immigration at all. Like, I'm against immigration completely, legal and illegal, of course. I'm pretty sure Kai knows this, as I support kind of the America First thing, but it's just that I don't think it will happen. That's just where I come from. Like, I'm pessimistic, basically, of the
optimistic, man.
What can possibly
give me the white pill. You gotta give me the white pill.
You have to be optimistic about things such as immigration, because people are eventually going to realize that things are getting very bad here in America. Like, I mean, you look at the result of this mass immigration from the southern border and from other third world nations. I mean, I'm not even in favor of like Europe. I'm not in favor of any immigration into America. It doesn't really matter where it's from, but we know where it is coming from, right? So I think people are, exactly. And people are going to realize that. People will wake up. Like, people are going to see what's, you know, much like what's going on with this, with the juice in Australia, right? People in America, I think, are slowly, you know, going to realize how damaging that is there. And they're going to say, wait a minute, hold up. Just as we're going to do with all these other nations that have been ruined by immigration. So, you know, many European nations have been ruined by a similar thing.
Well, you know, people always, they make us out to be these bad guys. I think the best analogy for, you know, like this nationalism or the idea of, you know, understanding identity is really this metaphor of like dads, right? You know, you love your dad. Your dad is awesome and he's your favorite. That doesn't mean you hate other dads. You just love your own dad so much. So
my dad could beat your dad up.
It's really true. And maybe maybe if we just all loved our dads, we could build a country that had a lot of respect for their fathers. So
what's a dad?
Very true. Very true.
Some of us don't have those, Kai.
Exactly.
Think about other people.
I got mine. I'm sorry,
Bryson. You ain't normal.
You know, hey, bro. You know, I ain't mean to flex, but hey.
Bryson's dad's awesome.
Yeah, that's the flex nowadays. It's like, my father's in your life. How about you?
Do you know your dad? But I mean, again, like, I'm not against like America First nationalism or the Nicholas J. Fuentes. I'm actually a fan of Nick. I mean, Kai already knows. Kai's known me for a while, so he knows I'm a fan of Nick. But I just don't see the possibility of changing what's happening.
Hey, well, man,
you got to come to AFPAC, man.
Dude, we're infiltrating a lot of the mainstream conservative organizations too. So, you know,
bruh, I just saw something. I don't know if this is real. This is from the WCCB Charlotte.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Brian
talk about
Talbot,
it.
assault
I'm
on
gonna
a
pull it up.
female.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Is that dude?
This is real.
Yo, Pace,
No.
let's go.
Wait, he's beating women?
Yeah,
I mean, is that a
supposedly
bad
Brian
man?
Talbot, our friend right there, assaulted a woman. Oh man!
I'm gonna get him. You
His-
stop,
his
Kai. I'm starting to
relation-
respect him.
Relationships with women didn't go
relax.
too well, so he like switched sides, or what's the story?
This is crazy.
He was found not guilty. Apparently.
Wait, but who is this Brian
That
guy?
was
Like,
Dana.
who are you guys talking about? Like, who is?
There was this
After
gay
this
guy
dick,
on
and
here
that's what made
before
him
who
gay.
rage quit, and supposedly he was being charged with assaulting a woman.
Oh wow.
Why
Well,
are you
let's
touching
talk
women
about
when you're
let's
gay?
let's
Come on.
let's talk about women. Why not? There's some women on the panel here. So I mean,
Ooh.
maybe we should talk about women in politics.
I'm down.
Well,
Yeah, let's
Bryson,
talk
what do you
about that.
think? What do you think?
He rage quit, Oliver. He rage quit. He rage quit.
I think men should be leading in every aspect of life because I think men are meant to lead. I think that is obvious. Even when you look at statistics, most women, even when they try to find careers, it's always in fields where it relates to their natural abilities, which is nurturing. But outside of that, I mean, to me, the whole thing was a scam. Even getting women to work and stuff like that, all that was a scam to make more money for the government. If we really look at history. But I think men need to be leading the politics. I think conservatives are playing too much identity politics and letting women lead.
Yeah.
I agree. But
I mean, but
repeal
they're
the
functioning
19.
they're functioning
Yes.
under a belief that women and men are fundamentally the same. I mean,
Vincent James, is this who we've been waiting for?
Yeah, Vince
bring
is
him
awesome.
on. Hell yeah.
yo, Vincent James? No way.
Wow. Just wow.
Oh no,
not him.
man! That's not him. That's not him. That's somebody pretending to be him, man. Yeah, that ain't him, man. That was a lot of effort. A lot of effort for that.
Weston
not
entered
really
the chat.
Oh, he just
it's not
messaged
him.
me. He just messaged me too. I didn't see it. He says, never mind. All the people I wanted to talk to left. And plus I gotta go somewhere else. Next
That was
time. Next
Brian.
time, he says.
That was secretly Brian.
Yeah, that was not Vincent James.
No.
Bruh.
So we got Rick rolled in a sense.
Yeah, you got
We got-
enrolled.
yeah, we got enroll.
You got Keem rolled.
Classic. Fuck.
Thanks, Vince.
classic.
Thank you so much. Thanks
Yeah,
for talking, man.
thanks,
Good talking
Vincent
to you, Vince.
James. God bless you.
Man, Brian, man. Brian.
We lost
So
all
we
the
got some more.
opposition.
We have some more news on Brian. Brian sued the Charlotte Gay Pride parade for not allowing him to come in because he supported Trump.
Oh wow.
And then that's
This
where
is
he
as liberal
assaulted
as
the
it
woman.
gets.
Wait, what city is it?
Kind of Jew behavior.
Charlotte.
Not
Charlotte.
the Jew
Oh
behavior.
no! Not the
Imagine being in that pride parade, dude. That pride parade is probably like literally just an orgy in Charlotte. Oh my god, dude.
I'm from Charlotte. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Hold on, Soonie, you from
Like, I
Charlotte?
know. Yeah, I'm from Charlotte.
Okay, then you tell us, Soonie,
Carolina?
what kind of
Come
parade
on,
or what
man.
kind of
It's
pride
the
parade is that gonna be?
Yes.
I love when blacks find out where each other are from.
Oh wow.
It's so awesome.
Oh, you're from
we
one of
live.
these 5 cities where blacks are like the majority in the United States? No way.
Hey, bro, I'm keeping it bad. I did not know Soonie was from my state. You feel me? That's real gang. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
Sunni's from NC too?
Yeah. We
There's
out
too
here.
many- There's too many
We
instant
out here.
people in here, man.
We out here, no cap.
Imagine not being from
No
Michigan.
cap.
Couldn't be me.
Michigan.
Imagine not being from
Nigga,
Kentucky.
nigga.
Yeah.
Imagine not being
We-
from Utah.
Oh,
Utah's
what's in
being
Utah
Utah.
exactly?
Michigan's not a real state.
What's in
The
Utah?
only thing that's in Utah is a
Mi-
bunch of Mormons. man.
Michigan has
And it's so
great
true.
lakes.
And
Okay,
it's
we're
so
great.
true. The closest
Okay.
you'll get to a theocracy is in Utah.
It's very epic, man.
Hold
We
up.
love theocracy.
Mormon theocracy.
Literally.
Are fake
literally.
conservatives ruining
So
the movement? They are. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know how much
Now,
more we could have stated.
Yeah,
what
like
a
I don't.
good question. What a fantastic, insightful question. Are bad people doing bad things?
Now,
Yes.
Soonie,
No.
Soonie, you said earlier that to repeal the 19th. Do you
Absolutely
mean
do.
that?
Yes, I do. I say it all the time.
Okay, well, if you do you believe that women should be involved in politics? I mean,
No.
clearly you must. I mean, you're here.
No, I'm not involved in politics. What I do is I run my mouth and I hold other women accountable.
Like all women.
Yeah, which is why we should repeal the
I would
19.
say, generally
But then
speaking,
why
women
are-
should be like
why are
submissive to
you-
men, but there are
So true.
exceptions.
Yeah, I do believe that there are very, very, very few exceptions, and even then, I'm like kind of sussed out
So
about
if
it.
I've
'cause,
I've
like,
already
think of-
passed the test with Bryson and Tyler, I'm the only woman that's going to vote in their society. So I
see,
I
I
have
no,
no
no.
problem saying
The
what
only
what needs to
exception
be
that I
said.
can say out there in the entire world is probably Michelle Malkin, because she like
Well, we don't care about your exceptions, though.
yeah, but it just doesn't make any sense.
How doesn't it
You know,
make
if,
any
if,
sense
you,
if I'm saying
if you
we should
believe
repeal the
if you
19th?
believe that women should just not care about politics, live their best
Mhm.
life, then maybe you should be an example of that, right? You should be off the
An
internet.
example?
You should not be posting videos on social media.
Well, women
about-
aren't going to listen to you.
Oh, they
So
are.
why-
They are though.
Oh, they will, whether they like it or not.
Abuse.
Exactly.
Dalton, so you don't think women should be on the internet at all?
I think that I've said this many times. If a woman's going to be online, it should be in the way that's like, they have a private Instagram where it's only their close friends and family, and they post like their cooking pictures and family
Soccer
pictures.
mom.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
I'm not with
Nothing
it.
more
No
than that.
beach photos.
I'm gonna
no
take it a step
bikini
further.
photos,
No,
beach
none of
photos.
that
Listen,
shit.
listen.
No beach photos.
I actually get called sexist a lot, but I'm gonna take it a step further because I actually disagree with you on this point, because I'm gonna take it a step further. I don't think the internet. I don't like the internet. Period.
No, I'm with you.
Okay,
man.
yeah, yeah. I could.
Because all-
I'm with you on that.
Because
Let's
all
go.
men.
I'm going to take it a step further.
all-
I don't
all-
like any technology.
because
Guys
love
like, I'm
technology,
gonna take it a step further. I'm gonna put pipe bombs in boxes.
Oh, no.
All
no.
men do on the internet is like I feel like men do a lot of coveting and a lot of thirsting on the internet and a lot of simping
Watch
on the
porn,
internet.
Ben
You
porn.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They do a bunch of weird stuff instead of focusing on what they need to focus on. They get influenced by all of these degenerates out here. So I feel like real men shouldn't be on the internet just as much as I feel like women should be on the internet.
I feel like women can't handle the internet, man. I don't think their brains are like built for it, man. I really don't,
Get that
man.
thong out your bussy, playa. I mean,
Yeah.
he wasn't lying. He wasn't lying. It's that negative feedback loop of like women who are, creating this content because there's an audience. It really is just capitalism. There's no audience. Nobody makes it. Women would not make pornography if there was no men to consume it. So, both things need to be addressed. Honestly, we just got to cut to the chase. The internet technology, all of it has been a disaster for the human race.
Same with capitalism.
I don't think
it's going to strip
technology
us
has
of
been a
autonomy
disaster.
and ruin all of our lives inevitably. I mean, that's one thing that is truly inevitable is the fact that tech is ruining all of our
Do you
lives.
think it's tech, or is it that it's widely available to like the massive amount of population?
Both. Tech is pervasive. There is no tech that you just like gatekeep to a small community. It's very difficult to do that because of the way scientism works, because of the way the people who create the technology are wired just psychologically.
But is it under a specific ideology when you say it's under like a liberal ideology that believes all people should have equal access to like technology, whatever?
It's not so much that. It's
They
just
don't
like
believe
the mentality, the psychology of the people who create it. These people are creating literally just to create. They want tech to take over lives because tech will always try and propose solutions to problems that technology created, right? It's like, oh, well, now we've moved to agriculturalism instead of like hunting and gathering and foraging and whatnot. Well, now we have to, create all of these solutions. We have to create more technology to fix the problems that technology created. And ultimately, as conservatives, and this is one point that, you get some pushback on, but it's very true. Conservatives must oppose all dramatic progressivism, and technological progressivism it counts as well. There's no transgenderism if there was no science being put into, male to female transitions. If there was no hormone therapy, if there was no gene editing, we wouldn't have half the godless abominations that we have right now. Science is the end. Or no. Let me rephrase.
Well,
scientism is the enemy of conservatism.
Well,
it
when
always
you talk
has
about
been.
transgenderism, like that's because they believe men and women are the same. So they believe there's no fundamental difference. So therefore, the scientism, because they believe in that ideology, we use that to appropriate that in reality.
Well,
now, if it was under a different ideological framework, I believe it could work.
It's the fact that, you know, you have to divorce the goal of the science, right? The science is almost, you know, if you know, like Edmund Burke, he says society is like a living organism. Science is kind of the same way, and people kind of propagate it, but it like attaches itself to their minds. The state of nature, or rather, the way people are wired right now, the scientists we have right now, and the what do you call them? The inventors we have right now are always just going to want to create more. They never ask if it's a good thing, because the situations that they're in require them to fulfill that natural drive to what? Do something that's fulfilling. And for them, the fulfilling thing is to create. And so they create and create and create. And that's how science expands. And eventually, the goal of science is to change everything that is natural and everything that is given to us by God, which is why what are people trying to change? They're trying to change the roles of men and women, which are innate, which are powerful, and which are given to us by God who created us. They are trying to change the human role to be one of the creator instead of the created being who lives among the rules. They're trying to change the roles of men and creatures that we have dominion over by saying that veganism is the real way to go, and really we should just be eating bugs. They are trying to reverse the rules of nature and the rules of life that God wrote into us, because the ultimate goal of science is to play the role of God. It is not content with being ruled.
Okay, but again, do you believe that life is about risk and competition?
Competition.
Okay, what are you trying to point to with that question? Like what value do you see within
when
those?
scientists do technology? Look, I don't support the way they do it now, because they're kind of, you know, doing everything you just said they're doing. But I believe under a different ideological framework, we could use technology for good, but only for a limited amount of people. It wouldn't be spread to the most of the population. I mean, that's just my belief. Like, I don't believe it should be spread to most of the population. That's all.
Well, so this is, I actually have an interesting metaphor. So we hear all the time people saying kind of the same thing, or kind of the same thing I'm saying, but about, you know, the state. They say, well, why are you going to use the state for good? The state is like a bad thing in and of itself. And the answer is obviously no. The state is a tool. And you're kind of saying that like science is the same way. Science is a tool that can be used for good or evil, but that's not really how science exists. Or rather, that's not really how technology exists. Technology is going to strive to create itself because, like I said, technology creates these conditions that starve man of fulfillment. The more man relies on technology, the more man creates technology to live a life of comfort, the more he is starved of natural fulfillment that he would get by, you know, raising a family, foraging for food, and protecting himself in the wild. And the more removed he is from that, the more he will rely on technology and science and development. And then more and more development, like we just said, creates more and more problems that are only answered by more and more technology. So science is not really the same way, or it doesn't exist the same way the state does. The state is a neutral actor, which can be used for good or evil. Science propagates itself. It has an agenda. Science has a motive and a natural conclusion, the way a state does not.
Okay. Again, you said a lot, so it's kind of hard to respond to everything you said. But what I would say is this, is that, like, science, like, I don't believe people are, don't have meaning in life because of technology. I think because I believe that the world was desacralized, not by scientism, but by placing the divine outside of the world. And that is like the way Christians view God, the way Christians have a conception of the divine, which I don't agree with personally. I believe they desacralized the world. I don't think science in itself causes meaningless life. Like, if that's what the point you're saying.
Well, I think that's kind of its natural consequence, though, right? Because it removes us from nature. The goal of science is to remove us from the natural state. And the more we remove ourselves from the natural state, the less fulfilled we live, because the natural state of man is the one that we were created into. That's the one that we were supposed to have a role in or exist in. And that's why people are becoming more and more depressed the more they deviate from their natural conditioning. There's a reason why, you know, gay people and trans people have such high suicide rates. There's a reason why leftists have such high suicide rates. It's because
they're
their
mentally ill.
lifestyle, their ideology is completely contrary to nature. And eventually, science does the same thing. It positions itself directly contrary to nature by trying to pass the reins to human beings who were never designed to have them. And by that, you know, I kind of allude to like CRISPR, gene editing technology, abortions, the ability to choose when and when not you're going to have a child. all of that makes mankind more and more dependent on technology and less reliant on God and the natural mechanisms of the world. But
well, like things like abortion and stuff like that, transgenderism, I blame that on solely just liberalism. The liberal ideology.
but the technology was created, right? So liberalism, they use the technology to an extent, but you created the technology, and the technology allowed for that reality, which is a reality that's contrary to nature.
So are you just like a Luddite?
I am like I'm more than a Luddite.
So do you think that the wheel is contrary to the will of God because it goes against our legs?
Not necessarily the wheel. I think anything post post Neolithic revolution is awful. Yeah. The Neolithic revolution actually created manlets too.
What's wrong with manlets, man?
Yeah,
Napoleon was a manlet.
I don't want to be a manlet.
Hitler was a manlet.
Yeah, I don't want to be a manlet though. Hitler could have
manlets rule the world, man. What are you talking about?
Okay,
what are you talking about? What are you, no. Manlets literally ruled the fucking world, Kai. What are you talking about? Hitler, Napoleon, Stalin, all great men of history were manlets, Kai. So
and they could have been 6'9". They could have been.
They didn't need to be. They didn't need to be, Kai. You know what? Lanklets haven't accomplished anything because they couldn't even lean in through the door to get in, man. They had to bend down and lean in. They got shot. You know what happened? You know what happened to Lanklets in the army? They got shot because they were
too high. They're too tall.
They were too high.
They catch bullets. That's what we call them, bullet catchers, dude.
Yeah. Couldn't duck into the trenches. True.
Yeah.
No, look, I'm not counter signaling manlets. I'm just saying that I could have been taller, and I think that would have been cool. I'm not saying that I need to be tall to be cool. I'm just saying it would have been cool to be tall. Yeah. I'm a man of respecter, dude. I don't know if you
are, man.
I'm literally the greatest height in the world. I have inherited the world, dude. I have the Faustian spirit within me because I'm 5'9".
You don't. You don't want to advance beyond the Neolithic age. You don't have the Faustian spirit.
But how's that Faustian of you to be against technology when your people, through their Faustian Promethean spirit, created it?
Wait, did you say Promethean spirit?
They're also I believe it's also Promethean, European.
Okay. Well, look. Here's the thing. I think, again, it's that natural lust kind of to create. But as we know, mankind has plenty of natural lusts, and the natural lust to create has created, man-made horrors beyond our comprehension, right? And that's why I said, it actually, what's the quote from Jurassic Park where it says, your scientists were so busy figuring out if they could, they didn't stop and ask if they should. That's really how it is. There were a lot.
So is the issue not the ethics?
Risk is a part of life
rather than science itself.
Sorry. You guys were both talking at the same time. Did you say the risk is part of the issue, or what did you say, Wurzelroot?
Is that not there's just a problem with the ethics of science rather than science itself?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's about the ethics of science because, like I said, science has a natural conclusion. Science has a purpose built within it, right? Well, scientism, I should say. There is a difference, right? Science and our natural capacities to reason and to create are given to us by God for certain reasons. And what are those reasons? To understand the natural world, to glory, or rather to to glorify it, right? To glorify the natural world that was created for us. But
do you believe in space?
I believe in space, but I think it should be admired. I don't think we should travel to it. I think space
Why not?
is false hope. Well, because
we should travel.
The Earth was created for us. The whole idea of we are going.
Was the universe not created for us?
I don't think so. No, I don't think.
Was it not created by God?
Kai.
No, Okay. Hold on. This is an awful argument. Things can be created by God and still should not be done by man. Right? Things are made for us and things are not made for us. There's plenty of herbs and fruits and whatnot that we shouldn't partake of all throughout the earth. Just because God made poison ivy doesn't mean we should digest it. Just because God created space does not mean we should traverse it. And I think the biggest lie and the most dangerous one is the one where we tell ourselves that the goal of mankind is to remove itself from the earth that was created for us and to go to a different planet, which is intentionally uninhabitable. The idea of, removing ourselves from Earth is a particularly leftist one and a defeatist mentality, which I absolutely despise.
I don't think so at all. I think it's the continuation of this, like, the spirit of the colonization, the spirit of the Faustian spirit, right? Like, you could say the same thing about the fucking the Atlantic Ocean, though. What was it? Was it not some completely inhospitable, difficult to traverse area where you landed on a new inhospitable land, right? Am I insane?
Well,
but what? Because
no,
it's difficult. We shouldn't strive to conquer it.
No, that's okay. You're
about
conflating
the
different
will
things.
to power.
So,
You gotta
like I just said, the Earth was created for us. The Earth is sustainable. There's a reason mankind, lives in most places on the Earth, and in the parts of the Earth where mankind can't really sustainably live, what do? Or at least what should they do? They should study it. They should examine it. We can't live at the bottom of the ocean. That doesn't mean we shouldn't explore it and understand what's going on there. But the difference is that we no longer want to understand or to say that like these parts of reality are really cool. We don't want to study the Earth. We want to overcome it. And I think that's a very evil thing. And that's what leftism tells you to do, to overcome your state of nature. But that's not what mankind is supposed to do. Mankind is supposed to overcome, certain urges and certain temptations and ultimately go to God. But they're not meant to surpass the role that was given to them, right?
Well, again, I mean, when you say overcome, like what you're trying to overcome an evil ideology that's destroying your people. You have no choice but to overcome, because you understand that if you don't do this, your people will be destroyed. So this idea that overcoming is bad and not meant for us is to me wrong. To me, all peoples, all races are trying to be the best.
Okay, so overcoming evil is kind of a different thing. Like that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm saying it's an evil thing to kind of usurp God and to strive for a role that is greater than your own. Like I believe in a natural aristocracy. This is a very conservative thing. We have, roles and our capacity as man, our ability should allow us to achieve the ranks which we deserve. That's the natural aristocracy. But to say that we need to like get off the earth, which was literally created for us to inhabit and for us to multiply and replenish the earth, and just to say, oh, let's go to Mars just because we can do so. I mean, I think the most frustrating thing is that it's just like, oh, let's do it because we can. I think it's very anti-biblical.
To me, it shows that we are asserting ourselves as a superior civilization or species. That's the way I view it.
We're a superior civilization because we can go to Mars before we can get people to stop killing themselves.
I think that technology can be controlled if America was not the place it is right now. And I think we can fix it. All we have to do is regulate it and take control of it. Right now, human beings in America are so controlled by their hedonistic behavior and lust for technology and what you were calling, overpowering and controlling things. People go on Instagram or whatever social media for dopamine, right? For that hit of dopamine. They do the same thing for porn. They are controlled by this desire, right? But you look over at China, and they really don't have this hedonistic drive on the internet, aside from things that are, simply controlled by the government, right? So I think it's very possible for us to control what we have. This has to be almost at the forefront of the conversations that we're having within the conservative movement. It has to become mainstream to say we need to censor what's bad and what's truly evil. We need to control what is bad and truly evil and push it out, right? And glorify what is right. And what is right is God's word and Jesus Christ's resurrection, right?
Agrees. Well, and I want to be very clear, it gets kind of tough. Like I think I use the word science when I don't mean to multiple times, because science is actually something that's given to us by God, right? The scientific method is not in itself a bad thing, and it allows us to explore and understand the earth, which I would argue is a good thing. And we have a natural drive to do that. And I think the exploration of that drive is not a bad thing. The issue that I have is when the drive starts to become, it starts to overcome, the reason for it. And that's what I see with a lot of like this space propaganda, this like NASA propaganda of like, let's go to Mars just because like we can. It's like, well, hold on a minute. It's like we're losing sight of value. We're losing sight of reason.
I agree.
And that's my problem is it's science starts doing things just to do them instead of actually understanding the repercussions of it or, doing things because they're beautiful and good. So, but I don't want to get into that too long. I know the primitivism talk gets kind of obnoxious for some people.
Yeah, I do want to chime in here on this though too, because like I think one thing that's kind of being kind of glossed over right now is the fact that technology has completely destroyed communities. Like we don't really have communities anymore. And that's something that you're never really able to like walk back or be able to reverse, is the fact that with the invention of Facebook, text messaging, etc., being always connected online, that we've completely lost that sense of community and self that we used to have as a nation anymore, where people would used to sit on the front porch and, you know, used to know your neighbor and talk to them. I don't even know who my neighbors are, man. Couldn't tell you. Have no idea. And most people don't anymore. And that's something that's so destructive that technology kind of sowed upon everyone in this country, that I don't know. I just don't think you'll be able to get that sort of that sense of community back, no matter how much technology you try to roll back or anything, you know?
Well, and not only that, but like you get kind of dependent on it. Like a lot of people will say like, oh, like I wouldn't be happy if like I didn't know all the people that I know, because like I can travel across the world, and because I'm like on the internet, like I have so many friends because I'm on the internet now. It's like most of those are just these parasocial relationships. And if you actually knew people in real life, and if you were able to have these communities, you would have a far more fulfilling life. Like you'd be able to spend time with your neighbors, and that real human interaction, the kind of interaction we were literally created for, is far more fulfilling than the kind of stuff the internet gives you. So
yeah, I hate talking to you on the internet, man. It sucks.
So true. So
it's so true. You know, Beardson's lifespan might decrease by like 20 years just because he has to listen to me go off for like for hours at a time. But I think Robert Putnam wrote a book called Bowling Alone, which perfectly, you know, explores this kind of, you know, the reclusiveness of man. And one of the very interesting things he writes about is the trend that mankind has. And by the way, the title is, you know, Bowling Alone, because, you know, people are no longer doing these things with their community. These institutions are disappearing. And one of the interesting things he talks about is the shift in architecture. And we're seeing this happen, the more reclusiveness of people. Think about all the new buildings you see. Most of them don't really have overstated or important front porches. And in fact, most of the time, the backyard is far more important to these families who are making a new house than the front porch is. But if you were to look at any photo from the 40s to the 60s and before that, the most important thing was the front porch. You had huge front porches. Look at the South, the plantation homes with the giant front porches where people would get iced tea. All of these things were so important to us. Kids would gather in the street every night to play games. But now we got iPhone. And so we come and talk with 8 friends online about how gay people, you know, are kind of sussy. And really, you know, it's not to say that I don't like you guys, but it's just like, if we had the chance to explore these authentic relationships, and if that wasn't really harvested away from us the way technology has, and really it is technology's fault. I mean, there would be no way that the quarantine would even work if everybody, you know, wasn't seeing anybody. No, quarantine works because we're still on the internet and we have these parasocial relationships. If people couldn't have relationships on the internet, there would be no quarantine. They would see each other no matter what. But they're trying to give us just
no
a
America
little bit.
first. So you know.
True. Well, maybe if technology wasn't
that's
here,
the heart of the issue.
There would be no need for America first if technology wasn't around, because America would be first and people would still, you know, have.
I don't know. I think
again,
I think that the exclusion of God would occur no matter what, you know, like this atheist society would come about as a result of like feminism, like without technology, because that even started to fester even before this technology movement came.
Well, again, my point is, like, you say technology, I just think it's the ideology. I mean, liberalism, it's like, the reason why there's no communities is because it's all based on individuals. It's all based on what is best for the individual and abstracting man from his social origins. So therefore, even with technology or whatever, like if it's under that ideology, of course people are going to become more isolated and antisocial or whatever, and develop these parasocial relationships on the internet. That's what I'm saying. And that's why I'm saying it's not just technology, it's the ideology.
Well, it's the virtue of the people that utilize the technology. It's not the technology, you know. It's like a very anti-gun argument that's being made here. Guns are the problem. No, the people are the problem. You know, you have to ask the question: do you think people are naturally good or evil? And now I'd say that people are naturally evil and rather stupid.
I think that's merit to Kai's argument, though. Like, he's saying that like technology is like creating a society where we're just constantly pushing towards the next level, and this is like obstructing beauty, because what's natural is beautiful, and basically technology finds a way to pervert beauty and to pervert all the things that in society that we find meaningful. And I think that's what he's trying to say.
But I'm saying that, is it because of technology in itself, or the the ideology that is subordinated to.
Well, I may not have sufficiently answered it, but I think I did give like what my answer was, which is that I don't see technology to be a tool the same way guns or the state are. Like guns and the state can be used for good or bad depending on who wields them. And I think in that regard, Wurzel and I agree. It's just that I believe science creates, or rather scientism, not science, because there's a reason to science. There's a beauty to being able to explore the world through it. But scientism perpetuates itself and creates a reality which I believe is contrary to what is good and natural. And those two words, good and natural, go hand in hand.
And I think too, I mean, kind of going back to the kind of gun argument too, if I had the choice, if I can uninvent the gun, I would. If I could just snap my fingers and the gun just no longer existed at all for anyone, I absolutely would do that, because it's a device made to kill people. And I don't believe in murder, and I don't believe in that sort of pain and destruction and things like that. But unfortunately, that's not a reality that we live in.
How would you defend yourself against other?
Okay.
These hands right here, man.
Well, no, yeah, literally. What he's saying is the hypothetical of uninventing the gun, which means everybody universally has far lower a capacity to kill at a mass scale, right? If no guns existed in World War II and World War I or II happened, it would be fought with far fewer soldiers, and they'd be using, sticks and rocks and bow and arrows, right? Which means the capacity for mass violence is far lower. And like he just said, it's not really realistic, but within this hypothetical, far less violence occurs.
Just like the presence and like ease of access of like a corrupting influence, I don't think is sufficient enough to blame it on like the ease of access of the corrupting influence. You can say technology is a corrupting influence or something that leads people into a path of like ungodliness, but it's still the people's purity which is the issue. If you had like a fucking pound of cocaine in your refrigerator, you'd be more tempted to use it, and perhaps it'd be easier to get it and stuff, but if you're using it, it's still you who's the fucking issue.
Hey, really quick, Bryson.
Yeah, huge shout out to Bryson.
Yo.
Bryson's the king, man.
Well, no, hang on. Did you just super chat me?
Yeah, why?
Bruh. That's too kind.
Well, I donated more to Beerson because he actually had a goal. So I went to you to see if you had a goal thing. You didn't have one. So I said,
okay, do I need to start streaming? Hold on.
Start streaming, Kai. Bryson's handing money out, man. Do it real quick.
Hold on. Let me get the power chat link. I'll post it. Powerchat.live/Kai Clips. It's in the private.
When I see people with goals on that extreme thing, before I got banned on Twitch, I used to do it on Twitch all the time. I have to give it to him. Like I was like,
my goal is $10,000. I have it on the street every time. My goal is $10,000. Hey, if you want to donate like $8K, you got it, big guy.
We figure out how long Bryson's on the internet, like stream. Yeah. Oh, I've got a 6.5-hour stream. Just happens to be when Bryson's on.
Bryson,
yeah, my goal is $100K. What can I say?
They got this thing called Cash Up in Detroit. I love it. I mean, Black Power to you. I mean, Black Lives Matter. My brother right here.
Bryson, you gave I think you gave $100 or $200 to Trey back in the day so he could make it to the TPUSA event.
He never went.
He got sick, so he didn't even go.
Also, he got $60 from like all of us for that ancestry.
Yeah,
thing.
for a DNA test. We gave him the $80 he needed to take a DNA test to prove he wasn't Jewish.
He never gave me that.
Well, I think you got your answer, man. I think you got your answer on that.
No, literally, right?
Trey told me he wasn't Jewish.
No, it says in it. Okay, and Jaden had him look over every single part of his ancestry results. None of it was Jewish, but I think the fact that he literally got all of us to donate him $20 just so he could take this test answers the question. But like Beardson just said,
it's a gift. That's a gift because he definitely got me to send him $100 or $200.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Anyway,
thank you. Hey, but listen, I gotta hop off here. I gotta give me something to eat, and I'm about to try to practice chess because I keep getting my butt whooped.
Let's go.
All right, man.
Chess is good stuff. Chess is good stuff.
Bryce, are you coming to AFPAC?
When is it again?
February 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to pull up. Where's that? In Florida?
Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up.
Let's go.
Let's go, man.
Should I go to AFPAC? I don't know.
Yeah, you should.
Pull up, bro.
All right, I'll come. All
right, y'all.
All right.
Good to see you, man.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you.
Dude, Bryson is based on the tech question. I'm so happy about that. That was such
based
a
on everything, man. I love Bryson, man. He's my homie.
Bryce is a good guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out that fucking guy.
He's gone now. Dalton's like this.
No.
Wait,
I'm
Hey, what was the gay guy so mad about?
What?
What's up?
Dalton was being mean to him.
Yeah, the gay guy was.
Dalton!
We were all telling him that he shouldn't, associate with, being gay, and he was. And the worst part was Beardson kept just throwing these little napalm bombs by saying, "Take a chill pill," and the guy would rage.
I just wanted him to calm down, man. I was just trying to help.
Wait,
him.
was he like?
Dalton's got all this fury built up in him. He gets bullied on Cozy so much he's got to release it out on random gay men and Omegle strangers.
Today. I wasn't on Omegle.
Yeah. He's got all the rage built up in his heart. He's ready to
I
go.
gotta chimp out, dude.
Oh wait, Dalton, you do Omegle too? That's crazy. That's something that started.
Wait,
Shut up. You were
wait,
pissing
Dalton, are
me
you
off,
copying
unironically.
Beardson?
Oh my gosh.
Actually,
Dalton, did you copy Beardson?
I'm about to rage
If we're
quit.
talking about Omegle streams. I streamed Omegle before Dalton on.
That is not true. That is not
TikTok,
true.
I streamed it.
I have
before
video
you.
proof. I have video proof. I've been doing those for over a year. On
Okay,
my
I streamed it on TikTok before
my
TikTok
YouTube
lives,
channel,
dude.
On my YouTube channel, I have. My YouTube channel's banned, but I'm
Well,
sure I have it somewhere.
My TikTok was up before your YouTube channel.
Not a chance. But you didn't do those before. Let's
I
see.
did. I did.
What's
Omegle
the
streams
earliest
on
one?
YouTube.
What's the earliest one, huh?
I'd have to find the date of my
Oh,
account.
I'd have to
Because
find
my
the
old
date.
account is. What are you talking to me like?
Oh yeah, July
I'd have
5th,
to find-
2020.
Like, put a shirt on. How about that?
I've got an undershirt on. I don't know.
Wait, Dalton, you're stealing my joke now.
Well, okay.
I was the one that commented on Kai's lack of a shirt first.
So if you guys are the America First guys, I just wanted to ask your questions on like Vince Dow and all of them.
like Vince.
What do you guys think about them?
I like Vin. He's a nice
Nice
guy.
guy.
Maybe a little bit sussy with the ladies, but
I'm literally here now, Carson.
Wait, what do you mean he's sussy with the ladies?
I got beef with you now.
just
Oh,
saying.
we have beef. Wait, we have beef.
I just heard
Yeah,
that
we got
you're
beef.
hated, that's all.
What's going on, Avery?
I don't know. Carson is underestimating my black intelligence.
What?
Let's go.
That's gotta be.
Wait, did you just who just said let's go? Hold up.
Let's go.
Hold up.
Avery, what would you say your IQ is?
If it's over 100, I have a beef with you. Just the fact that you're using like whatever the fuck, like, hey guys, listen up. hey guys, listen up. I gotta talk to you guys.
Look. I got off work like an hour and 30 minutes ago. Chill on me.
You have a job?
No, yes, I have a job.
Is it
What's
gang
your job?
related?
I work at Texas Roadhouse.
Hey, that's
Wow.
epic.
Oh man.
Yeah, see, look.
Do people recognize you like, yo, you're that black conservative guy?
Yo, Avery, you in Texas?
I got casted out tonight, to be honest, over my views on transgenders, because apparently a new busser at my job is transgender.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which Texas Roadhouse is this? Because I don't want to eat there, man.
No, not by the owner, but by the servers, because all of them are liberal in a sense. Let me in. What do you mean let me in? You're out, Kai? This dude.
I can't let him in.
I think Soonie can. I think
Soonie said, I'm out of here.
I asked about why she was a woman in politics, and she decided to leave.
Women can't handle like being online. That's what I agree. I agree with
sure-
Kai in
look,
that
look,
regard.
I'm pretty
It's just
sure-
too much for. It's too much for him. It's too much for
Yeah.
him. You know,
Te-
the
technically-
Instagram.
Technically, because the roles are being reversed today, she does belong on the internet. I'm just saying. Like the fact that some dudes are more feminine than her. I think it gives her a go ahead for now.
Well, she's black. I mean, all right. Black females commit more crime.
He has a black wife, so he knows about this.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you guys, Ivan and Avery? What do you guys think about that? He's stealing a black queen from you.
I don't
Are you
have
upset?
a black wife.
Please,
I don't think
Wurzel
is
take
a
as many
Jewish
as you can.
subverter.
Take
I
as
don't
many as
Jewish
you can. I'm not
subverter.
missing them.
Even worse, I'm not Jewish. I'm Irish.
Oh yeah, even worse.
Stay away from me, Lucky Charms.
I'm not missing them.
I
I
think
don't know
adultery is
about
against race
Ivan.
mixing.
Damn, dude.
As you should be. Please stop.
Literally, I wanted to join earlier, but
Avery, do you date white women?
Yeah, why?
Oh,
bro. I'm starting to like you, man. I'm starting to like you.
I told you I didn't like him. I'm a good judge of character.
We don't discriminate. Well, that's a lie. Never mind.
Why would you want your kid to look like a European?
We do discriminate. I mixed children are the best children. Okay, the best.
The best.
No, they're not.
Mixed children. Mixed children.
They look like mashed potatoes, man.
Okay. Mixed children are powerful.
They look like mashed
No, they're not.
potatoes.
No, they're not, man.
Like, I don't hate mixed people. They all identify as black, so I'm not like against them.
No.
I
don't know. You got some that are like the light skins. They don't consider themselves black. They're light skinned. Like they don't.
The light skins are like the worst blacks, man. They're
I
always
want
the
you to- I want you to-
sussiest ones,
wait,
man.
wait.
Light
I
skins
got
are
the-
always the ones that are like
That
oh,
is
you know,
true.
It's like some dude posing up in like some booty shorts and shit. You know, it's always a light skin, man.
That's
So
true.
true.
That's true.
That's
I
gonna
want
be
you
your
to look
son,
up-
man. That's gonna be your son one day.
I want you to look up Robert De Niro's children and tell me what you said again. I want you to look up Robert De Niro's children.
I really wish I came in here earlier, bro. Honestly.
He's scared to do it.
Please,
He's scared to do
Avery, turn away, my brother. Just go
Turn away.
Turn away from the
What's wrong with dating a beautiful white woman or a mixed female? Okay.
You know my personal
if you're
opinion?
white.
Look. For slavery, you can fuck the white woman.
You
Don't
said for
make
slavery.
babies. Don't make babies with them. Don't actually pursue a relationship with them.
Most of them have a better culture than black women. At least the ones.
It's not about it's about your race.
It doesn't matter.
Your
I don't
race.
care. I don't care about the race if the culture is garbage.
But why would you want to look like a European?
Oh my god.
Why would your kids want to look like you?
That's real. I like this Ivan guy.
We're barreling towards a tranny
Why do you think
future.
you follow me? You follow me on Instagram.
We are barreling towards a gay tranny future, and you're saying you want more light-skinned kids in this world? As Beardson said, they're always the sus ones, dude. They're gonna be targeted.
There's always
They're gonna be at bus stops, dude. They're gonna be at bus stops, all right? And you know what happens at bus stops, dude?
Yeah.
They're gonna one of your sons is gonna come in booty shorts, and you're gonna realize you made a mistake.
I'm hearing Blasian is a great combo, black and Asian. I'm hearing
they're
making
man.
progress.
Yeah, I don't care about Asians, man.
Okay, maybe that's the way to go.
Look,
enjoy living in Japan.
We've got
no, that's not what I said.
Enjoy living in Japan. I hear they like you guys over there.
Soonie's already in Japan.
Look, all I'm saying is, Avery, look, your race is important. You should care about. Look, I don't think these white men in the
Tell
chat,
them about Komet.
I don't
Come
think
on.
these white men in this chat really want you to be making babies with their woman.
It's not their woman. They have.
It is my women. I claim ownership over all. I claim ownership over all white women. They are under my stewardship. Okay.
Yes, I'm pretty sure they admit white women today are kind of retarded.
Yeah, man. They have sex with dogs.
But nice southern
people.
southern belles are where it's at.
You're too horny, I think, is your issue. I think your issue is you're far too horny.
Yeah, this is like a fetish thing. This
Hey,
is a
dude,
whole
check
fetish
your
thing.
nose. I think there's cum dripping out of there.
Get out of here.
No.
My man's far too horny. He's out here simping. I bet if you check this guy's Instagram, he's in every comment section saying, "Hey baby, answer my DM, please."
I'm looking him up. Avery.
Don't look at none of my stuff, bro.
Well, tell me he doesn't follow a bunch of Instagram models.
I
niggas in the
don't.
comment says this
Following.
looks like we belong to the Biden segregation.
White girl.
No
white
way.
So true.
White
No
girl.
way.
So
White girl.
true.
White
I'm a
girl.
Biden supporter.
White girl.
Look,
White girl.
Hey, look,
white girl.
the YouTube shot is like shitting itself.
Yeah, it's how it is, man.
Look,
I told you. I call him as I see him.
It just happens to be that there are a lot of.
I just happen to follow all these women. They have very good political opinions. They seem like good people. They got some really good takes, guys.
Look, Avery, look.
I think they're intelligent.
They're either friends friends or they're either friends or they. I follow them for political reasons.
Yeah, they got really hot political takes,
They
my
got, they
man.
got really great political takes. Is what
Yeah.
I said. They got
Just
really
like Ella
great
Malden.
political takes.
Ella Malden's political takes? My God, man.
Oh, man, I would love to caress Ella Malden's political takes.
You want to milk her political takes right into a pan, dude.
Okay, some of them can be based. Okay, a nice.
Oh, okay. Tell me about these based women. Tell me about these based women.
Avery, guess what?
No,
Look,
that doesn't
Avery,
make
you talk about
sense.
black women, right?
There are trad wives that exist.
Oh, the trad wives.
Internet trad wives.
Yeah. I'm sure, my man. I'm sure it's not just that you're very horny.
It's not.
No
It's
chance.
literally. It's literally not that. I am a man of the Lord. Okay, and
You think the Lord supports you miscegenation with other races?
being involved, love thy neighbor and all of that talk.
That doesn't mean follow on Instagram and jerk
That
off.
doesn't mean you have to have sex with him and have kids with your neighbor. I don't have kids with my neighbor, man. I love the guy, but I'm not gonna have sex with him, you know.
Back.
My man.
Like just know I only follow them for those reasons alone.
Yeah, the political takes, and because you're a good Christian
Avery,
man.
you
Yeah,
can
I'm
literally
sure,
get
my
you a
man.
black woman. You can get you a black woman.
I don't want one. I don't want one.
She will accept your worldview.
What? So
She'll
she
accept
can.
your
So
worldview.
she can literally. Nah,
Look, hey, I have a black girlfriend, and she literally agrees
So does
with everything
Dalton.
I say.
Shut the.
But how rare is that? Okay. At least where I'm at,
you turn them that way. That's
That is too much work. That is too much work for one man
She's
alone.
a woman. She's a woman.
Black women in Detroit. You can't turn them. Okay, there is no turning. Before you even speak the word conservative or Trump to them, they will try to throw ones with you. I am not.
That's because you're a pussy.
Just
I am
be
not
racist.
catching. No.
Racist towards white
It's
people.
not
They're
that.
gonna support
I'm
you.
not catching a case. I'm not catching a case.
No one's telling you to date 12-year-olds, my man. What do you mean catching a case?
That's not what I'm talking.
What does catching a case mean if not getting arrested?
But not getting arrested that way, putting your hands on a woman. Because literally.
You just need to not be a pussy. Like, that's simple as, okay? If a woman doesn't have your political opinions after a week, like, it's because you're not a man.
Exactly.
Simple as.
Like, I'm telling you,
No,
your girlfriend should
not,
simple as.
especially not black women. No.
Look, I'm sympathetic, man, because I wouldn't want to date a black woman either. But
over decades. You said
Avery,
what?
I'm telling you, bro. If you date a girl, she's literally gonna if she likes you or you just put her in her place, she's gonna support your entire thing.
If you're not man enough, and it seems like this guy is a very horny coomer.
No,
he's coming out with attention-starved Chihuahua energy to all these women, and they don't want it. They don't want it. What can I say?
That's not what that is.
He's coming out with footstool energy and expecting to be the captain of a ship. No, sorry, dude. Listen, if you're a captain and your crew mutinies, it's because you're a shit captain, not because the crew's bad. Okay, that's how it is. And you're the captain as the man. And if you're too much of a baby little pussy boy, she's not going to respect you. She's going to mutiny. And now here you are on Instagram following women for their personality and their political opinions.
You're putting this in quotes like that's literally.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. There's so many women out there.
You gotta do this.
Their personality,
their hot political takes, you know.
Legit, they're either friends. I don't remember following them, or I followed them.
Oh, you fell into a fucking amnesia after following this girl. Is that how much fucking coom you had backed up, big boy?
Dude, yeah.
Fucking came so hard he blew a fucking gasket. Can't remember why he followed her.
You lost the whole week there, man.
He went on a fugue state, man. Depleted of his vital essence.
Hey, listen, Avery, as a fellow nigga myself, I'm telling you to stop.
You need to stop. You're giving black guys a bad name. I had more respect,
Not that I had more respect.
I'm sympathetic, man.
Fertility. Hey, the black Americans have a 1.9 fertility rate. You need to make babies with black women to make sure that rises, okay?
She better be an exceptional black woman.
Thanks for the conversation. Thank you, everybody.
Soonie.
I'm gonna wrap this up.
All right,
Soonie.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. It was cool talking to you guys. Hopefully we'll do this again.
Let's go.
All Whew. Comment section needs to bring it down like 3 notches. Listen, I'm a wife. I have children. I had to step away from the live. And if they're making their comments, bro, let them make their asinine, stupid comments. The point of this was to show that these people have freedom of speech. I don't agree with like 92% of what they say, but I'm still respectful enough to have a conversation with Dalton. It's just not that big of a deal. I think we spend so much time whining and griping about words hurting. And that was the reason for me putting together this panel. It was. And it sucks that the gay dude rage quit. And it sucks that the comments pandered and simped to him. I see all the gropers in the chat. But that was the point of the live, man. It was to sit and have the uncomfortable conversations and talks and listen to perspectives. Period, point blank. And I appreciate everybody who did chill with us almost 3 hours. Good Lord. Whew. I was running up the stairs. You got people freaking out. I'm like, oh, take 2 breaths and fucking breathe. It was fun. Anyways, I'm out of here, guys. I gotta be out.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care.